Hello all, how are we doing? Um, J-Man was giving away the joke of like, maybe we need, I was like, was the game name indicative of how marking had gone for Comp 1511, which has just finished recently? I'm happy to say that yes, the marks are satisfactory in terms of like, when we look at it for like, I don't know how many people, over 800 people, um, whether the whole lot sort of adds up to the right amount or not. Like if it does, then like if I see the sort of the status and it's like the entire course got HDs, then I've got a problem. But if it's like a good distribution where it's like, okay, I've assessed people correctly because I can separate people between different bands of how successful they were. I haven't magically failed a million people and things like that. So when it's like that, I'm like, okay, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. I can submit that to the school, which I already have, and that's good. I apologize for anyone who's here straight from Comp 1511 that I have not released the marks to you yet. That actually takes a fair bit of work on Tom's end to format that properly so that you can see it and it's just actually understandable rather than like a bunch of like sort of gibberish that we understand internally behind the course, but it isn't what you need to see. So we'll get that done soon, hopefully tomorrow. But I don't want to I think Tom's been working for the last sort of 15 days because he had to organize a whole lot of the like last minute exam and assignment marking and stuff like that. So it's a lot of just sort of wrangling tutors and trying to convince people to do marking while they've got their own exams to study for and things like that. So pretty full on stuff, but I think we're in a pretty good position to actually kind of finish term one on time. I mean, there's like the thing that I always have to do at the end of every term when we hit this point is I have to go deeper into plagiarism investigations and things like that. So it's like, I think the worst case is always like, two people have exactly the same code, and then a later submission from one of the two people has still exactly the same code, but all the variable names have changed. And I'm just like, oh no, maybe that's not the same code. It's like, yeah. It's like when you can see someone trying to make it look like it's not the same code. It's like really like, oh, that's really bad. Don't just like, I don't know, if you need to do stuff like that, just be honest about it. We'll give you a hand or something. But then we get people who are trying to hide it, and then that just makes it really obvious. Although we do have a celebrity guest. Oh no, she's behind the microphone. I haven't set up Chicken Cam. I actually do have another webcam. I found another webcam, but I haven't set it up yet. What are you doing, Chicken? What are you doing? She's super cuddly at the moment because it's cold. Like, we've just going through a cold snap in Sydney, so it's like, she's like, anytime you stay still for more than 10 seconds, she just magically appears on your lap and just like, hey, give me warmth. Yeah. I'm just seeing what's happening in chat. Oh, Ruben was asking about marks. I see there. Yeah, no. We haven't released them today. We actually have added them all up, and we have the totals, which we have to submit to UNSW so that you can get your marks back later on this week. It has to go through a bit of a review process before you can get your marks back. So we've done that bit of it, but we haven't done the whole separate everything out, let everyone know what marks they got, like per exam question and stuff like that. But like, we've got your final assignment marks out for most everyone. I mean, we're still chasing up on a few things we haven't completely finished. Anyway, don't want to get too caught up in UNSW stuff just because today is supposed to be like a more relaxed stream. It's supposed to be something where we're chilling out instead with some gaming now that well, for me, now that a lot of the major stress is over for term one. Exactly. As Shitake is saying there, can we stop talking about marks? You're all stressing me out. So, we're going to talk about different marks. We're going to talk about this mark here, and my marks are Satisfactory. Ha, get it? That's perfect. Okay, so I want to show you this game, Satisfactory. I discovered this game, I think I would consider it reasonably late, because, late, but like, it's still in early access. It still hasn't had its final release. They're still adding a lot of features to the game. But I only discovered it over Christmas, January kind of time this year. Well, Christmas was last year. Had a bit of a break, and I usually in that time have a group of friends who, the cool thing about this for a lot of you who are uni students, a lot of these people are my friends that I met at uni. We're still friends now, so talking nearly 20 years since we met each other, and so I think it's really cool. And what we usually do is we go somewhere as a group of friends and hire out a big house, and we all hang out together over New Year's or something like that, just for a few days, because we can't spare that much time, as much time as we used to be able to. So we'll get together for a few days. Only if you were in Sydney around the end of December last year, you will have noticed we had another outbreak of coronavirus exactly at that time. I think it was like 23rd or 24th of December. And they locked down the northern beaches in Sydney, and the house we had booked was in the northern beaches, and so we were just like, oh, well, I guess that's not happening. And so we were like, I guess we're just gonna stay at home. And my partner and I were like, what are we gonna do? And it was like, there's nothing we can do. And I was like, all right, we both got a copy of this game, and then we just sunk, like, I don't know, it would have been like at least sort of 12-15 hours a day into the game. We were just building up this massive factory together, and so that was it. And it was like 4 or 5 days later, and our sleeping schedules were completely ruined. We were just ordering food in for every meal. We hadn't left the house and stuff, and it was like, okay, good. We stop now. But like, that's the level of kind of sort of, I guess, addictive joy that this game has given. Yeah, I say, what are we talking about in chat? Evan's asking, did I play Factorio? A lot of people ask about Factorio, and I have friends who've played Factorio and said you should try that next, and I'm sure I will at some point. But it's funny because Satisfactory released another update, and so a few more features have been added. So I just started a brand new factory. This was like 2 weeks ago, I think. So I've already built up a fair bit of stuff. So what I want to do today, Abraham's also making Satisfactory jokes. Yes, because we're all just so tied to UNSW. We're going to be talking about marks and getting Satisfactory marks this whole stream, I assume. Anyway, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you the game from the beginning. So I'll show you, like, just as a beginner, in a sense, how this game starts. So this is especially for anyone who hasn't played the game before. This is how you'll start the game. And I thought partway through the stream, once I've shown you the basic kind of stuff that happens in the game, we'll switch over to the game that I've been doing recently, which has sort of more advanced stuff happening in it, and then you'll get to see how I've built up certain factories and stuff like that. Okay, so let's start a new game. I don't know if my face is in the right position, but I think it'll probably be okay. You don't really need to see the menu there. So we're going to start just here with the beginner area, which is called grass fields, that gets you started at the beginning. Session name will be Marc's stream demo, and we'll select the grass fields and start the game. And so we'll just go in. I'm not sure if you can hear the computer audio at all. I might turn it up a little bit. I don't know though. I'm gonna be like talking over things anyway. Hamish, I'm not sure if we should make this an open session or not. I do want to actually show people how the game works and stuff like that. So let me do the onboarding and at least get the first couple of things set up, and then I will potentially open it up later for a bit of chaos. BT saying I should play Jurassic Park so we can make jokes like "Welcome to Jurassic Mark." Yes, we can do that. I actually played a fair bit of Jurassic World Evolution. It's one of those games where, like, you know, like sim management games. It's one of those games. I actually quite enjoyed it. I spent about, I think it was just one weekend, but I spent a lot of hours that one particular weekend, just like going through a succession of different parks and building them up and being very, very happy with how I was building those. So that was a lot of fun. Anyway, let's start the game. Oscar's asking if anyone played Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. I don't remember that one. So, we're starting in space. This is such like classic Unreal Engine, like the rendering and stuff is so exactly it. So this is the tutorial. It's quite cute. Hamish was asking if I would play Baba Is You on stream. It's a puzzle game inspired by programming. I think I've seen that one somewhere, because I think I've played a lot of programming games, and so they turn up on my Steam recommendations. So this is like the game here. What's happening is that they're talking about building machines, putting conveyor belts between machines so that you can feed resources from one to the next, and so like you can mine stuff out of the ground, smelt it, feed it into a constructor, turns it into construction materials, and so on and so forth. It's so funny because it kind of sounds a little bit boring, but like once you get into it, the loop of building and automating processes stuff is so satisfying in this game. Like I really, really enjoy it. I mean, they named the game like that on purpose, right? It's a satisfying factory. It's Satisfactory, right? I could just see them sitting around going, what are we going to name this game? And it's like, well, it's a game where you build factories, and it's like super satisfying. It's like, okay, let's just go for that. Kaichi said, don't think there's game audio. No game audio. 1 second. How are we going now? I turned up the game audio a lot. Complete. And I can see the little bars going up on my screen, but I don't know whether you're hearing.
Is at 100%. Remember, efficiency first.
Oscars say
Godspeed.
You call Satisfactory crack because a friend of yours named Harry once spent his entire holidays playing it. Yeah, I think that can happen. I mean, that's literally what I did. I spent nearly my entire holidays at the end of the year playing it. It's a bit loud.
Welcome to
Too loud.
Massage 2 ABB, your designated sector in the binary.
Okay, how's that? I've taken the game audio down to maybe about half of mine. So I'm talking at the same time as the guide now. So if you can hear me and not them, that's good. Awesome. Kaichi says it's perfect.
Note, objective-based introduction initialized. Welcome to onboarding.
It's the tick elephant. It's like a tick, but also an elephant. And if you can jump on top of them, they bounce. It's really funny.
Please dismantle the drop pod.
Please dismantle the drop pod.
Will be repurposed to construct a habitat and utility base, from now on referred to as the hub.
So this is the thing I came down in. You can see that was the seat I was sitting in.
We do not waste.
So you see the bottom right corner of my screen. I've got a set of shortcuts there. F is the dismantle. And if I just hold down the mouse button, I can dismantle it. And so then I will have the ability to build stuff. It's going to tell me about that now.
Data and communication is recorded and stored in the codex, including
So they're telling me that there's a codex, which has a lot of stuff. You can go, okay, these are the parts that I can make at the moment. So it's not much, right? I really like the way that sort of expansion works in this game. They start off with really, really basic things only. And then every time you build up certain things, you build up the capability, and they go, oh, okay, now you can use those things you made before and do more stuff with it. So it's like, it's just a really nice kind of comfortable growth into complexity kind of game. I think it's really, really wonderful. like that.
Second
So,
objective. Please ensure you have your Fix-It incorporated Xenozapper equipped.
so it's
before
telling me
leaving the
equip
drop
the
zone.
Xenozapper before
Note,
leaving the drop
according
zone
to Fix-It
in case I get
regulations,
attacked.
every high-end should have
I remember I was
access
playing
to means of
multiplayer with a
defense
friend and we
against
dropped in
extraterrestrial
immediately. Like he was going to show me how the game worked, only we got dropped in 2 different places. And the person who drops in first gets like the equipment because they have dismantled the drop pod, but the other person doesn't get anything. And so I was there unarmed running around and like this alien rhino thing just started chasing me around. I was like, help, where are you? And he had to run like 500 meters to find me and then zap the thing for me. So we'll just go into my inventory here and you have body and hand slots. So in my hand I'm now holding a little Xenozapper little cattle prod thing.
Please familiarize yourself
It's not
with the
really a
resource
combat
center
game, but there's a little bit of combat in it. There's a
Note,
tiny bit
the
if you want to get
acquisition
into
of
like the
iron is
whole
considered essential in
survival
preparation for
genre, but it's
future
not really a
objectives.
survival game. You don't. It's not like Minecraft where if you don't build something by nighttime, everything just eats you. I actually don't know. I haven't really played Minecraft, but you know, I get the idea. Satisfactory is not really like that. You can nearly just ignore all the animals and just build stuff. I mean, eventually you do need to fight them because generally anywhere there's something valuable, there's something dangerous near it. But you don't have to survive things. Nothing really attacks you. But if you want to expand, you kind of have to attack them. So the first thing we're going to do is find some iron, and we want to start our base somewhere where there's a plentiful source of iron so we can start building things. So we've got this scanner. This usually has other options. Well, I'm used to it having other options, but in the beginning there's only iron. So we scan for iron, and this little expanding ring goes out from me and says there's iron 250 meters that way, 260 meters that way, 370. So let's just take it easy and go for the closest one. Ooh, there's some stuff as well. I just picked up some fruits. This is kind of me knowing the game, right? You don't have to do this at the beginning. But I pick up the fruits just in case I hurt myself, because you can eat to get your health back. My marker for the iron has disappeared, so I can just ping again. And you'll see, I'm pointing at my monitor here, that doesn't help at all, but you can see the radar at the top has got south, west, north, right? So I think if you've played other games before, this idea of a compass with markers on it has a little bit of familiarity. Oh, here we go. It's the alien rhino I was talking about. Alien rhinos are not very smart, so I can just be mean to it. I'm gonna be even more mean to it and start zapping it. Oops. After all of that, me dancing around and pretending that I'm really good at this, I still got hit by it. Not too bad though. It took like one little bit of health off. I will be fine. D-Wang, I guess this will be a 10-hour stream. Abraham, Marc gaming at 4 AM isn't anything new. I think people have seen that before. Okay, so here, and they're giving some tips here as well. Hold E to gather resources from resource nodes and deposits. So there's this node here, and there's a deposit. Wait, I can't remember which. I think this is a deposit, and this is the node. And so this is pure, and this is impure. Let's see, there's another piece over here. We'll see if it's a different level of. Alright, they're all impure, but that's fine. We're still going to be able to get iron out of this. So let's start grabbing some iron. And so, in the beginning, when you start playing this game, I'm just holding down the E key to dig stuff. You,
To complete this objective, the
What's it saying?
resources salvaged from the drop pod will be consumed.
Oh, it's saying build the hub. Alright, so I just need a spot
Ensure
somewhere
the hub
here.
is built on spacious open terrain, close to the presence of iron sources.
Spacious open
Failure to
terrain
do so
close to
will likely
iron. I think this
result in
space over here is
non-optimal
nice.
progress.
So, now they have given me the ability to build things. So I'll open the build menu and the hub. I can also build a craft bench to make things, but the hub's the first thing I'm going to build. And so this is the interface they have for building things, where they give you the kind of 3D model of it. And then I'm using the mouse wheel to spin it around, decide where I want to put it. And so I might just dump it here. It's really, really friendly though, this game, where if I don't like where I put it,
Congratulations, you have unlocked Hub feature.
This is
Manual
weird.
Craft bench. Hub feature, hub terminal.
Usually the hub has stuff in it. Ooh, I've got a... This is like a rendering bug. This is usually a building here. Anyway, the hub gives you a craft bench, and the hub terminal is actually where we hand things in that just get launched up into space. I don't know what they're doing with it, but someone up there is using the stuff that we create. And every time you finish this kind of an assignment to launch stuff into space, they give you new tech. I might actually dismantle this hub and build it again, because it's actually missing some pieces, and I can tell that the pieces are meant to be there, because for a second ago I could climb up there. Oh, I don't know. Maybe this is what it looks like at the beginning. They don't want to confuse it with the other bits. Maybe. I can't remember. I haven't played the starter bit in a while. Okay, anyway. So, parts like iron rods can be crafted at the craft bench. So here's the craft bench. I can make iron ingots. And so I think anyone that's played a crafting game will have seen this kind of interface where you go to the crafting bench and you make stuff. Different games have this at different levels, because even like really kind of lightweight crafting games like Animal Crossing, which isn't always about the crafting, it's also about collecting friends and building a nice area and stuff, still has this kind of thing. So let's see. The hub terminal, tier 0 says hub upgrade 1. This milestone will give me an equipment workshop, the ability to build portal miners, and some inventory slots, and it's going to cost me 10 iron rods. So I select this milestone, and I come over here and make 10 iron rods. So I can make 20 at the moment, so this is a good amount. Alright, there's my 10. What's everyone saying? Oscar, arachnophobia mode. I will probably turn on arachnophobia mode because cats are so much funnier. We'll see if we actually find any of the spiders. There are these giant alien spiders hiding in caves in this game, and they are a little bit freaky. So you look at them, you go, that's a freaky alien. You should not be. And so they have this arachnophobia mode you can turn on. Is it in gameplay? Arachnophobia mode, let's turn that on. And it turns them into little pictures of cats, and they meow instead of like hissing at you like in an alien way. It's very, very cute. You still stab them with the zapper though. BT. Imagine being an alien rhino minding your own business, and UNSW lecturer Marc starts bullying you. It's always actually quite funny in this game, because you as you start playing, you realize, oh, there's another one over there. You realize that you're just destroying the natural environment. Like, I'm just like paving over all this wonderful grass, cutting down trees and all this kind of stuff, and it's kind of like, and you're mining things, and magically once you start mining the iron ore and stuff like that, it just never runs out. So it's just like, it's like this hilarious belief that like natural resources are like, you can just keep plundering it forever, which is like so far from the truth. We've got a chicken here. Maybe I should move the camera a little. Hello. You want to say hello? No, she doesn't want to say hello. She just wants to sit where it's warm. Okay, so I'm gonna hand in a bunch of iron rods, and they'll be like, oh, okay, so now the hub is upgrading. I get it. All the bits that I thought were supposed to be there are slowly being put together.
Building, workshop, equipment,
Okay, I now have a stash if I want to.
Hub feature, personal storage.
Oh, Halogen's like, what's that flying in the background? I wonder where it is.
Note, portable miners require no power and will mine a node until their inventory is full.
I don't know where it went.
Multiple portable miners can be used on a single node.
There is, like, and yeah, totally, that's like heaps of fun. The sky whale. I don't know if that's what it is, but it's like this giant... Oh, there it is. Sky ray? It's not really a whale, sky ray, yeah. And it just sort of flies around the scene. I did a thing once with a friend where we got on top of the sky ray and just kind of sat on it, and it flies this really big path around this whole area. And like, you know, once you get deep into the game, you actually develop a lot of this area. Like, you'll go down there, you can actually see, I don't know if you can see clearly in the distance, those are some nodes of some kind. Those have got some minerals. So you can actually go there and build another factory down there and stuff. So there's actually heaps of stuff. And I remember setting up stuff on top of the arch just for the fun of it. There's also that thing, if you've noticed, like I've just kind of quietly not talked about it, because that's a green alien slug thing that I'll pick that up later though, because it's not what we're looking at right now. We're still like learning how to play the game. Okay, so they're saying you can make a portable miner, and it can be placed on a nearby resource node by pressing left mouse button. So, do I actually have portable miners yet? No, I'd have to build the portable miner, and in order to build the portable miner, I need to be able to make equipment, which is another building, the equipment workshop. It's gonna fit there. Oh wait, I need some plates and some rods. I don't think I've got enough iron right now, so I've got to grab some more. Let's hit this big node here. Do and kill it. You can't kill the Sky Ray. I've never been able to kill it. I think it's just too big. Like, when you actually hop up on that thing, it's huge. Like, it's as much space as between here and the hub. Like, you're actually walking around on top of it. BT said, have you played Subnautica? Subnautica just earlier today was in my Steam ads for like, you might like this game, and it's like, yes, I think I might like that game. And I will definitely play Subnautica at some point in the future. So one thing we can do here, I want to build the equipment workshop. I can press this plus thing here, and it says, puts it on my to-do list, so that while I'm making stuff, I know how much I need to make to be able to make the building that I want. So I use a lot of these little kind of tools. It's funny, like, you know, how I'm teaching everyone about programming, and like, so I teach you about like putting to-do comments in your code and stuff. It's obviously games like this are so totally made by programmers. It's like all like the kind of quality of life stuff that programmers like ends up in these games as well. Hi Ford. And Ford saying hi to Chicken. Chicken says hi. I think it's quite convenient, and Chicken's just like plonked herself on my lap today, so like she's just gonna be part of the stream. It'll just be funny. It'll be funny until I can't hold this position forever and my leg falls asleep with her on it. But that's a problem for later. Okay, equipment workshop. I'm gonna do, like, I always like to put the equipment workshop like right here on my hub, because it means it's just like, it's just really accessible. So like, I've got my craft bench and my equipment workshop here. This is like the start of every game. You always set up your hub in your equipment workshop. So what were we doing? Building portable miners. Okay, so I need, I thought I could, oh yeah, I had to right click to add to the to-do list. I might build 2 of them, so 4 plates and 8 rods. See if I have enough iron ingots for all of that. So the portable miners are nice because you can just drop them on the resources and they collect stuff while you go off and do other things. It's like basically battery powered stuff. We are going to advance past that eventually though. So what are we looking at? 4 plates. And 8 rods. Okay. And we'll build 2 of these. Where are you going, Chicken? Oh, goodbye. Did you hear that? I love it because one of the funniest things about Chicken is like, when she's just kind of going around the house and stuff like that, she just kind of announces everything. It's like she just walks around the house going, meow, meow, meow. It's like, it's always saying, I'm here now, now I'm here, now I'm here. Okay. So in order to do the portable miner, I have to, I think, put it in my hands? Yes. And that drops the portable miner. Oops, wrong menu. That one as well. And these things, I'll just grab that back in case I run into that other rhino. I'm just going to start digging. And so I can open this, and it's actually got ore in it now. And I can start picking up the ore. So now I don't really have to go there and just like dig the ore with my little chisel. I can let these machines do it, and I can grab the ore out of the machines. So you can see how we're slowly moving towards automation and stuff. Oh, BT is like, am I the only one who hears that droning in the background? It could either be the fans on my computer, or it could be the background noise from Satisfactory itself. I'm not sure which. But is it going up and down, like every now and then it goes zzz, and then it backs off again? If it is, then it's the fans on my computer. Like, is it going now? And then it fades out again. Actually, it's still kind of going. If it is, then it's just my computer fans bleeding into the mic. I probably should clean out my computer. I've had it for like 6 months now, and the front air intake is like a little bit dusty now, and I think that's making it louder. I could definitely get that going quieter if I clean the dust out of it. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, so let's go to the hub and see what else they have for us. Hub upgrade 2 is it's gonna give us some cool things like a smelter, which is gonna automatically turn our ore into ingots, so we don't have to do that manually. And it's gonna upgrade us to then start getting copper. So we need 20 rods and 10 plates for that. Oh, BT is saying Streamlabs has noise cancelling. I'm using OBS at the moment. I don't know if OBS has noise cancelling, but I'm sure there would be some way that I could do that. I just haven't really looked it up. Alright, 10 plates, 20 rods. I don't think I've got enough ingots for the rods, so go check my miners. My miners have probably got heaps of ore for me now, because I just left them going for a while. 43 will be more than enough. Alright. Drop all of this in here and say, there you go. Ah, there's the upgrade. This is what I thought it was supposed to look like. And it's like, now we've got a room.
You have unlocked hub feature, biomass burner.
And now we have a biomass burner, which gives us electricity from biological stuff. Okay.
7th objective. Complete hub upgrade 3. Note. Connect buildings to a biomass burner for power. Note. Buildings such as the smelter require a recipe to be set.
So now we have a biomass burner.
Smelting process and use portable miners for optimal results.
Right. So now we have the idea that we can burn biomass, and biomass is going to be all of this. So I'm just running around and picking up leaves off the ground. There'll be a bunch over here. So, you know, I was telling you about, like, just destroying the natural environment. That's what I'm doing now. I'm ripping all of these plants out of the ground. You can tell I've done this before, because I'm... Oh! Hello. Where'd it go? No. You. Not polite. I'm also being very impolite by zapping it to death, but, you know. Okay, so... Now we have enough stuff to put in the biomass burner. The biomass burner will generate electricity, and through electricity, we will then we will then power machines. So the first thing I'm going to do is build a machine as a smelter. I am missing bits and pieces for that, so I need iron rod and I need wire. I've got iron, but I don't have any copper. So I think one of the things that I unlocked. Also, you see the day-night cycle happening. That is a very, very big moon / another planet that's moving incredibly quickly through the sky. The day-night cycle is pretty fast. So the next thing I'm going to do is look for some copper. Alright, 150 meters, not very far. I can get some copper in this direction. This is going to be limestone, I think. Yeah, we don't need the limestone yet. We'll deal with that later. And while I'm here, knowing that... don't fall in chasms. This is the downside of going exploring at night. Oh, we have Another alien rhino. I just totally missed it. That was pretty funny. Yeah. Oh! I thought that rock would stop it. But it diverted it off course just enough that it didn't hit me, which is okay. Alright, so we're picking up some copper ore. What I've made a slight mistake here that what I really should have done was bring at least one of my portable miners out here. Because now I've only got the ore that I'm carrying. Which should be enough. What I want to do is go back there, make a smelter, connect it up to my power. The hub is in this direction, so I'll just run back this way. Oh crap! You know, I said don't fall in the chasm. Well, I mean that was true. Don't fall in the chasm. That was something that probably shouldn't have. I shouldn't have done. Okay. What are we talking about there? Ford's laughing because you left your PC since you made it 2 years ago and you haven't cleaned the dust out of it. So, yep, people pressing F for respects, because I love it because I was 100% aware of that chasm, and I said, don't fall in that chasm, and then I just, like, turned around, cheerio, straight back to the hub, let's go, and instead I fell into the chasm, and look, usually in this game, when you fall off something and you die, your body ends up there with all the stuff you're carrying, and you just go back and pick up what you were carrying. But I see no good way of me getting into and back out of that chasm again, so I'm gonna have to rebuild my resources. I mean, it's not too bad. I'm gonna pick up the miner because I want this one to go over there where the copper is. It's not too bad because I didn't have that much that was important. I am gonna need one of those zappers though. Takes cable and wire. All right, I need the copper, so I've got to get out to that copper now without a zapper. Pick up enough copper to get this thing going. Oh, my crate is on the map, but I mean, like, chances of me actually being able to pick that up right now, pretty low, because I don't know if you saw, but that chasm, that was a pretty long fall. So I very much doubt that this thing just opens up nicely somewhere. So that crate's gone. I'm gonna let that go. Let's go pick up that copper. Alright, it's fine, we're not that far. So I do need some copper to bring back to my base to start building things. Ford wants to see me play Resident Evil. I've hardly played the Resident Evil games, actually. So I could potentially get into. I've heard Resident Evil Village is really good. A friend of mine's been playing it a lot, and he's just kind of like, he's totally into Resident Evil, so maybe. Okay, so we're heading back to the hub, but remember, where the crate is death. I love it, because I'm just like trying to show you like the easy way to start this game. And it's like, there's not usually that level of death right at the beginning. Okay. So, what's my goal here? Hub upgrade 3, select this milestone, iron plates, iron rods, and wire. So wire is going to need copper ingots, so we can make iron ingots and copper ingots. But what I really want to do now is stop making those things by hand. And start smelting them. I'm gonna need to make some, so 5 iron rods and 8 wire. Okay, 8 wire. And this is kind of how this game works, where you start off doing everything by hand, but as you get deeper into it, you start having the machines do the work for you. Oh wait, I just made 8 again of those. Doesn't matter. I will end up using those iron rods eventually. So, I will just make a smelter. It has these inputs and outputs, which we're going to be doing by basically feeding conveyor belts into these things eventually. Missing cable. I need some cable to wire that thing up. So eventually, yeah, we will have a lot of conveyor belts joining this stuff together. And that'll come soon. I am going to, partway through the stream tonight, just hop over from this, where I'm showing you how the game starts, to me showing you how the game ends up. And it gets really, really kind of interesting and quite complex. Okay, so what I did was I pressed 2, which down the bottom of my screen here is my power connections, and I can hook my connections up between things. So it's I quite like the UI because it makes this little sound and highlights an object when you can connect it to something. So I can go here, connect it, and then it's like my building interface where I could build something like a power pole, or I can just connect it straight to this smelter. So now I have here, if I put in biomass of any kind, it will generate electricity and it will run this smelter. So I've got 148 leaves. That's cool. 80 leaves per minute, which means I have less than 2 minutes worth of production here. At the moment, at least it's not burning any fuel because nothing's using it. But what I can do is I can get free ingots. Well, it's not free. It's costing me electricity. But if I say copper ingots and I dump my copper into there, then I'm going to get like a minute's worth of copper ingot production, and I don't have to make the copper ingots there. So I just make some iron ingots because I'm going to need them for something else. I'm going to figure out what I'm doing. Hub upgrade 3, iron plates, iron rods, and wire. So this is like, I've got the machine doing some of the work and I'm doing some of the other work. At some point the power will run out as well because I only put a certain amount of leaves in it, but that should be fine. Okay, 20 iron plates and 20 iron rods. BT. So when I play, do I fall into the chasm and die, or should I skip that part? Well, you can see how this game is a little bit like friendly about that, so you can, if you want to, fall into the chasm and you won't lose that much. I did lose my Xeno Zapper, which is a problem because at the moment I'm completely defenseless. So I am kind of at risk of dying again. I can't remember what else I was carrying that I lost. I think I lost some berries and stuff like that. So I'm sitting here on 3 health as well. So things are not necessarily going perfectly. But you know, it doesn't really matter. This game's not that punishing. Alright. So I can give these things to the hub, and I'm going to make some wire from the ingots that I hope my smelter has made for me. Yeah, 36 ingots here. So I'm going to pull them out. Smelter's now not doing any work, so let's get it. So every machine, you can pick what it's making. So it's got 2 recipes at the moment. You can make iron ingots or copper ingots. So I switch it to iron ingots. Just double click that, dump some iron ore in there, and it's going to slowly make ingots, burning whatever's left of my biomass there. 20 wire. Alright, so we've got enough for another milestone. So this is how the game kind of takes you through things. It's just like, here are the things you have to produce, find ways to produce them. And you can produce nearly, well not everything, but nearly everything manually, but then you can also kind of go, alright, I can get the machines to do the work for me, and then I do different work. So I'll run around picking up biomass to feed into that thing, and then I get ingots without having to worry about it. I've got these portable miners doing stuff for me as well. D-Wang, kind of want to get this game now. Yeah, it's a pretty good game. Ford saying this is Factorio but 3D. I'd say, yeah, it's kind of Factorio but 3D. It's not as, I think from what I've heard, like I haven't played it, from what I've heard of Factorio, Factorio is very kind of like, you build these factories, you know? Whereas Satisfactory, you don't have that quite the same capability to build the factories, because you've got to get in there in person and just place things and stuff. So you can't copy paste an entire factory from one setting to another and stuff without mods. There are mods that do it. It's also harder to see what you're doing, so it's like Factorio but a little more up close and personal. Oh, Hamish says Factorio has more combat as well. BT says it's chasm diving time. Okay, so what did it just do? It gave me power poles and constructors. Oh, so constructors are cool because constructors are machines that you can use to make those parts. So we've got the smelter that makes the ingots, and the ingots get turned into parts using the constructor. So the next thing I'm probably going to want to do is make a constructor, but let's see what my hub upgrade 4 is going to give me. Conveyor belts. I love conveyor belts, they're great. So what I might actually do is make conveyor belts, and then I'm going to connect my smelter directly to my constructor rather than building them separately. 75 iron plates though. 75 iron plates is a lot. I don't really want to do that by hand. I could instead do 2 reinforced iron plates and 8 cable. Maybe I want to do that instead. Okay, there's my iron ingots. I think I'm gonna need more copper. I'm not sure. Actually, no, I've got enough wire here to make 20. Actually, I only need 8 cable. Okay, 8 cable for that. 2 reinforced plates. So now they're showing me what am I thinking? Like more complex things. So now it's not just rods and plates, it's stuff made out of rods and plates, because the reinforced iron plate takes 6 iron plates and 12 screws. Screws take iron rods. So now you can already see the complexity is just starting to kick in of how we're going to get more interesting kind of bits and pieces that we're going to build by building more complex things out of the basic materials. So I get rods, I turn the rods into screws, and I can now make my 2 reinforced iron plates out of normal iron plates and screws. Right. This is going to build me a constructor. I'm just going to dump this here. Later on, you get really kind of specific about how you put things together and stuff, but I'm just going to put a constructor here, knowing that I need 75 iron plates for this. So I'm going to say, you can start making iron plates. I need to give you some power. The only way I can give this thing power now, because you only do 1-to-1 connections, so I'm going to need power poles, as they're telling me in the looking on the screen, as they're telling me there in the information, that I'm going to need that to be able to power both of these machines at once. 22 ingots out of that. So if I need to make a power pole, I am missing concrete. So wire, iron rod, and concrete. Concrete is something I need to make via limestone, which is now something I can search for. It's actually just sitting over there, but I thought I'd show you the search anyway. So right here, I saw it earlier, I knew I was going to use it. But here we have some limestone. I don't know if I need to chuck a portable miner on this one. I can probably just grab enough limestone for now. I literally only need 1 piece of concrete for a power pole, so let's just go with that. Gonna make some breakfast. Get it? Because people say they eat concrete for breakfast. It's like what people say when they're trying to sound tough. Alright. So now it's actually given me on the hotbar down the bottom different options. So I can press 1 to build a power pole, 2 to connect power cabling. The power pole still needs iron rod and wire though. So we need 3 wire, iron rod. Actually, let's just make a bit more. Because I'm not just going to need wire for this. If I want to string up these things to my power infrastructure, I'm going to need a bit of cable as well. So you end up, like, as I played this game, I always end up with just lots of random stuff in my inventory. I just ran out of copper as well, so that's going to be something I'll have to deal with later. So there's some iron ore. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to delete this power line and connect this biomass burner to a power pole, which I'll just put in between my 2 machines here. And then I'll connect that one up there, that one up there. The power pole can have, I think, 4 things attached to it. And here, when I select my power pole, it shows me my power. So it's like, this is my peak power capacity. This is how much power Oh, the blue line is the maximum possible consumption of power. So that's if both of these machines are running, they're going to use 8 megawatts. Currently, only 4.1 is being used over here, and I'm creating up to 20 with the biomass burner. As this gets deeper in, these numbers get into the hundreds and thousands, and you have like entire power stations and stuff going on. Okay, so this thing's now capable of running, capable of making iron plates, but it needs iron ingots. So let's dump a bunch of iron ingots in there. This thing's also making lots of iron ingots, so we'll just dump all of them in there as well. 85. I don't think that's enough for 75, but anyway, while that's working, I can go back to the other side of the chasm and go and find my little copper miner there. I'm gonna pick up a bunch of leaves along the way because I'm pretty sure I will end up running out of power soon if I don't pick up leaves. Oh. I saw a shadow and I just assumed I was about to fall into that chasm. Alright, let's see what we got here. Cool. So that's nice because that's like 100 ore. This is like a really... This was a bad place for a base, to just have like the straight line between my copper and my base being being a chasm of death. It just seems so logical. The iron was right there. It was really close to where I landed. It was very easy to get started. Okay, I wonder... Let's make some copper ingots out of these. Chuck the iron ingots in here. Making lots of iron plates, which is nice. Put more leaves in the burner. And you can see how now, instead of making everything, I'm managing the making of everything. So let's go hub upgrade. Wanted 10 concrete, a fair bit of wire, and a whole bunch of iron plates. So I can partially fill these orders and it's fine. Need more wire. No, cable, sorry. I'm gonna need more copper for that. So I'm just sort of racing through this stuff, but you can see how like you can grab stuff from the machine or you can put stuff into the machine. I think you probably saw me doing that a couple of times, right? So I grabbed these iron plates out as well. I can hand all of them in. Wait, concrete's already finished. What do I need? More cable. I don't need to worry too much about the iron plates. My machine's doing that one for me. I don't know how much more cable. I only need one more piece of cable. Alright, so now I'm only waiting on the iron plates. We'll see how many have been made over here. 10 more, thank you kindly. And so I need 13 more, and this is the bit where you can be like, I could make these myself, or I could just sit around for a bit. So Hamish, having played both of these games, is talking about the difference between Factorio and Satisfactory, where Satisfactory is about kind of, I guess it's about being efficient. Like you end up, like in the beginning you just connect stuff together, it's just fun, but after a while you're like, oh, if I'm producing exactly this much resources from here, then I should consume exactly this much resources here, and it turns into this hilarious conveyor belt madness, which I actually quite enjoy. I'll show you some conveyor belt madness because I've got a partially built factory that I want to show you. Once we've gone a bit further into this, I'll show you, because like I want to show you, there's more of the game that I want to show you first before we go into like my stupidly busy factory. It's not even that big compared to how big they can get, but it'll look big compared to this. Tawaka, hello, how's it going? Hamish is like, you can never have too much concrete. Yeah, we end up building a whole bunch of infrastructure around these machines. I'll show you later. Nicole's like, can you play Fortnite? Technically, I can play Fortnite. I think at one point I had it downloaded, but I've never actually played it. But I think it could be really funny if we did something like that, where like we all just hop on one Fortnite server. Can you do that? Can you actually make private servers in Fortnite? I thought that'd be really funny. Which is everyone on the stream just hops in Fortnite together. I was wondering how long I would last in those games. People were like, this is where Marc is. People would just hunt me down. This is revenge for Decimal Spiral. Let's see how many more iron plates we've got. Also, this thing's probably full by now. Yes. I think I had enough. Did I pick up enough plates there? Yes, I did. So we can now upgrade. And you go through this chain of like filling out things, getting your upgrades and stuff like that. So the upgrade is conveyor belts. Conveyor belts are great because they kind of they really make this game into what it is. So
portable miners cannot be connected to conveyor belts. Advice: when planning the construction of buildings,
So,
note the placement of
Ada is
conveyor
telling me
belts.
now, when planning construction of buildings, note the placement of conveyor belts and stuff. So you start then connecting these things up. So now I have a smelter that can make ingots, and then a constructor that takes ingots and can make stuff. So what I can now start doing is connecting these things up. I do kind of want to make sure that the recipe makes sense here though. So what I might do, let's see what I need to make next. Select milestone. I don't actually need to make very much difficult stuff here. Oh, wait, 50, 75. Okay, 75 iron rods. So let's set up a chain to make iron rods. So this thing, we're going to say, we want you to make iron ingots. We'll chuck 100 of these in here. And now, this is the magic of Satisfactory. This is the joy of it. I pressed 3 because it's given me down on the bottom there, conveyor belts. And I can actually click on the exit of one machine. And now, with my, like, 3D rendered building thing, it's saying, okay, here are all the places that this thing can go. And I want to connect it to this one. However, unfortunately, the conveyor belt is red, and it's telling me I can't afford it. That thing is going to take 6 iron plates. So let's... Oh, I don't have any iron plates there. I'm going to need a bunch of iron ingots. I'll make the iron plates myself, and I'll connect this thing up. Iron plates. Alright, I've got like 11 iron plates. That should be plenty. Now what I can do is, okay, there's my conveyor belt. This time it's blue, saying you can build the conveyor belt to anywhere you want. I want it to go into this other machine. Now, like magic, my little ingots are going into this machine. Wait, what's this machine making? Oh, I don't need plates. I want rods. So I'm going to change the recipe to iron rods. And this thing is going to start taking in iron ingots and spitting out iron rods. And so you can actually see this is where we start getting into this stuff. It's like, okay, we've got power usage, we've got how efficient this thing is, and that's based on how many of this maximum per minute it's doing. So it can take in 15 iron ingots per minute, and it can spit out 15 iron rods per minute. This thing here is capable of smelting 30 iron ore per minute and turning that into 30 iron ingots. So we can see how once we would get into more complex levels of this game, we want one of these servicing 2 of these, and then it gets very complicated there. But for the moment, we now have a nice little automation line where all we need to do is grab ore from here, drop it in this machine, and we get iron rods out the end of the other machine. So it's a nice little sort of little thing of having the machines doing the work so that I don't have to do as much. I could set up another one of these. In fact, let's have a look at how much power we've got. We're producing 20. Well, our production capacity is 20. Oh, it just went down to 0. I think I just ran out of leaves. But it was up to 20, and these 2 machines taking 4 each, which means I could set up another smelter constructor combo for the wires, which I'm going to turn into cables, which I might as well do. However, got to make sure I've got power for things. What have I got? Let's chuck some wood in the burner. The wood's a little bit more efficient than the leaves, but also a little harder to get. So I know that I'm going to need more. This is really funny at the beginning of the game. You just, Got some nuts. That's nice. I probably should eat them, considering I've been sitting on 30% health for most of this game. Hasn't really been a problem, but like the funny part of the early part of this game is just running around picking up biomass. I am just going to destroy the local environment to burn, to make my machines, which are going to destroy the local environment further. I gotta laugh at it. I gotta laugh. Oh, there's a funny little bird. Hey, alien bird. Usually they like run away from you, but this one just totally doesn't care. I will name you Chicken. You can be the factory's pet. It'll fly away and I'll never find it again, but anyway. Okay. So, what are we doing? We're making rods and we're making wire. Oh no, I said I was going to build another set of machines. So, smelter, constructor. Let's take that power pole out of the mix. Now I know the things I'm going to need. I need some wire, some rod, some reinforced iron plate to make those 2 machines. So that's my kind of to-do list now. I can make plenty of wire. Reinforced iron plate needs screws and normal iron plate. I think I need just like 1 iron ingot to make some more iron plate. Wait, I'll take the ingots from here. Yes. I took all of them, but it'll probably still live. What are we out of power already? That wood didn't last very long, but I've got heaps of leaves now. There you go. That'll give me a few more minutes of power. You can kind of tell that as you get deeper into this, you don't have to keep just kind of running around picking up leaves and throwing them in the burner. What was I doing? More iron plates. Is that enough? Oh no, we need more screws. Alright, now I can see on the right of my screen there that my shopping list is complete, so I can build a smelter and a constructor, which is nice. We're just going to chuck it over here. As you get deeper in, they give you these lines so that you can align your machines with each other if you want everything to be really neat. I'll show you some neater stuff later. But otherwise I can just do this. And I can go conveyor belt. Oh, more iron plates. Okay. There's this. Some conveyor belts. And this is going to need power. So I'll connect this up. I need more wire. And it's good because like I'm making enough resources in things to be able to make this stuff. So you can start to see how it's like we started off simple. Not much stuff was happening. But now I've got heaps of stuff going on. So we're going to connect the power. I am missing cable. Gotta make some cables for the power. And I can connect this power line to this machine, this power line to this machine, and I'll look at what I'm making. Oh, it's actually just up here. But we need cables. Cables need wire, so I know that I can make this thing make copper ingots, and this thing make wires. And if I wanted to, I could actually hook up another constructor after this one to go from the wires to the cables. I'll just chuck the ingots in there. I haven't got any copper ore at the moment, so I'll go back and find some more of that. Might go via these plants. Get a lot of leaves that I can throw in my burner to give me the electricity to keep everything going. I'll see what's happening in chat. Oh wow, I do have a visitor. I mean, we are streaming public. It's very rare for someone to just turn up and say hi, but hello. I don't know who you are, and unfortunately I don't speak Russian, so I don't know. But maybe you enjoy Satisfactory, which is enough, right? D-Wang said, surely there's a coal generator. Yes. there is a coal generator, and I'll actually show you that in a moment, because we're getting pretty close to the point of me going, all right, now we're going to swap over to my actual factory, and you'll see how that works. But I wanted to show you like how this game builds up in the beginning. Tongsu says, Satisfactory global warming speed run 80%. It's the doggo. Oh, it's not happy with me, but the alien doggo, that alien doggo, you can actually like, oh, I'll see if I can do it. Hang on. Can you see that? Do you see it licked its lips? Come on, doggo. You can entice it with fruit. It's licking its lips. Maybe if I don't advance on it, it will come here and I will be able to give it the fruit. Or maybe I drop it on the ground. I can't remember. I've done this before. I've enticed the alien doggo before. Let's try this. Drop it on the ground. There it is. Yes. Yes, little doggo. Oh, yeah. You like the fruit, don't you? You like it. Are you gonna let me pat you? Yes. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Sometimes the lizard doggo actually finds stuff and gives it to you. Wow, that was actually easy. I thought you had to do more than that. Okay. Oh, lizard doggo's my friend now because I gave it some food. Ooh, maybe I should give it some more. Want some more? Oh. Oh, look at it scratching. So cute. Okay. What are we doing? Copper. Where's my copper? I can't remember. I got distracted by the lizard doggo and now I have no idea what I'm building in my factory anymore. Oh, there's chicken. I don't know if it's the same bird. I'm just gonna call all these birds chicken from now on. Alright. Got some copper. I wonder if lizard doggo is still following me around. I don't know where it went. In here somewhere. I'll just deforest its habitat. Okay. What were we doing? Oh, there's a constructor. Oh, we were chucking copper in the smelter. So, this is going to make the copper ingots. The ingots are going to come in here and make the wire. Whoa, we've made a lot of wire. It's alright, we'll use it eventually. And then I'm just going to use this to make more cable. We should be able to get our 50 cable pretty quickly, dump it in there, and then we will have completed that milestone. Alright. So, what are we taking? Rods, cable, concrete. Did I thought I had limestone. Oh, did I drop the limestone into the chasm? Let's grab some limestone, make some concrete. Everyone was excited about the doggo. Oh, no, name the dog Frankie. If everyone knows, Frankie's the fox that was biting people on campus. Did you know? I'm not going to name and shame, except it's like in the news and everything, so it's probably already there, that one of your tutors was one of the people bitten by the fox last year on campus. Hamish, you no longer need to do factory doggo is all you need. Satisfaction achieved. Yeah, totally. I like that. I like that this game's got a few little things like that that are just kind of funny and silly, and they bring you a little bit of joy. Oh, we need to feed more iron into there. Actually got some spare ingots. Oh, I don't know if I need to throw ingots in there. But the nice thing is, like, while I was off doing other things, I've got 80 iron rods, which means I can chuck 75 of them in here, and we're pretty good to go. I will just make some concrete. I'm gonna need to get more limestone. Maybe I should have put a portable miner on the limestone. I might as well, right? Because then I don't have to go back and manually grab it. I'm a software engineer. I don't do anything manually. Make machines do the work for you. Okay, you do the work for me. I still need more though. I'll grab a little bit while that mine is getting set up. Nicole, mining the limestone is the same beat as We Will Rock You. There, you're a young boy, sometimes I'm gonna make a man someday. You got blood on your face. Wait, big description. Let your name all over the place, saying we will rock you. I don't remember the lyrics that well, but you know, there you go, close enough. I watched the Freddie Mercury movie. What's it called? I can't remember what the name of the movie was. And it was really funny because I was like, that was a great movie. And then I realized that I could have just watched Queen songs playing for 2 hours straight, and I would have loved that. So it really didn't matter about the rest of the movie. It was like a great movie. And it's like, I was going to say that no matter what it was. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, Oscar, YouTube doesn't like you swearing. I just had to, oops. Pressing the wrong buttons there. Yeah, I just had to actually approve your comment there. Because I can't get it out of your head now. Marc karaoke stream when? I'm gonna get a copyright strike for singing We Will Rock You very, very badly out of tune and out of time for most of it as well. Okay. Next upgrade unlocked. We have been given a second biomass burner, which is good.
Building Miner Mark 1.
Oh, we can build the Miner Mark 1. Okay, the Miner Mark 1 is super important. And great.
Complete hub upgrade 6. Note, there are no notes.
Hub upgrade 6 is the last one. Okay, so they've now given us a Miner Mark 1, and the Miner Mark 1 kind of closes the loop on production of things, because up until this point there's still a manual part of the loop where I'm grabbing ore from this thing and dumping it in that machine. Those days are over. We'll pick up the miner. What we're going to do now is build a machine that extracts the ore directly from the ground, and we can conveyor it into the other machines. So I don't have enough for that, so I need some iron plates and some concrete. Ford saying it was Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah. The recent movie with what's his name? Rami Malek, I think. He's really good. I really enjoyed like most times I've seen him. He's like, I really enjoy his acting. Hey, Legend Miner Mark 1. Hi, Waleed. We're building a factory. 3D Factorio, if you know Factorio. Yes, we're satisfactorily building factories that are satisfying factories. Satisfactory. Do I need concrete? Let's just grab it. I need 100 wire. How much wire has been built here? See, that's the nice thing. These machines are just going to do a whole lot of the work for me. Oh wait, I was making a portable miner here. I keep looking at these two and getting confused as to which one I'm doing at that particular time. So we needed concrete. As who was saying it before? I think Hamish was saying you can never have too much concrete. You're always carrying around hundreds of bags of concrete. I don't know how you even move, but you know, carrying around hundreds of bags of concrete so that you can actually build floors and like walls and stuff like that. But now I've got enough for my miner. So there's my miner. I'm gonna take a conveyor belt from, I need iron plates for that conveyor belt. I've been really low on iron plates. I'm gonna change the recipe here to iron plates. Chuck those ingots in there. Chuck my leftover ore in there. That'll make some iron plates. I'll make a few manually as well. Wait, did I just chuck all my ingots in there? Oh, hello! Hello, you follow me around. Press E to see if Lizard Doggo has found anything. Sometimes it actually just gives you random stuff, which is really cute. So it's just like, I'm gonna dig up stuff out of the ground and give it to you. Oh, it's gonna follow me around for the whole game now. Hello? Hello? Oh. Alright, what was I doing? Iron plates. Alright. Then going to connect to this. Up to this. Oh, we need a couple more for that. I could reorganize things so they're lined up more nicely, but, you know, I can't be bothered. Just want to show you this stuff working. Okay, so that's that. This thing's going to need power. I'm going to want to connect up both of these burners because I think I'm pretty close to the limit. Max consumption is at 16. My capacity is at 20, so for me to run that... Oh, I just ran out of fuel as well. For me to run that miner, I'm probably going to need both of these connected up. So what we do is with the power network is like you've got a whole bunch of stuff using stuff on the power network and there's a bunch of stuff generating. So if you connect... Oh, I'm going to need cable for that. If you connect everything up to like one big power network, then you can just have it all just kind of helping each other out with power. However, my demand for random leaves that I've picked up is going to get higher. So let's connect. Oh, we don't have anything to connect that up with. Let's build a power pole here. I'm going to connect both burners to this power pole, and then this is the thing that's going to connect to the rest of the network, and that should power everything. I'm going to need to keep both of these things fed, though. Chuck the wood in one, and the leaves in the other. So they're both capable of burning now, and I want this miner to now have some power, so let's... Can we just connect to that up? Oh, we can. It connected up there. So this thing is now producing iron ore, so let's let the machine get started, and we'll see the iron ore coming out of here. This is the beauty of Satisfactory. So we got iron ore. Iron ore goes into the smelter, gets turned into ingots. Iron ingots come in here, go into the constructor, get turned into iron plates. Iron plates I then turn into other things. So that's kind of the beauty of the game. That's how it works. And the hub upgrade wants 100 of each of those things. So if I was going to continue in this, which I'm not going to, I'm going to show you my actual factory, I would then start getting this, maybe utilizing this other iron patch here, so that I've got one patch through a factory chain making rods, and another patch through a factory chain making plates. I would have this thing here making wire, and then maybe pipe that into another constructor making cable. I would get a miner here, piped into, I think it's a constructor, to turn the limestone into concrete, and then I would have all of my materials. Hello. Oh, have you found anything? No, you haven't. Coming back here, and I would be using them to make stuff. So that's the kind of loop that we get, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and gets more and more complex. So what are we saying there? Oh, right. Hamish was saying the in-game law for carrying is you have a pocket dimension. So you have access to a pocket dimension. You're not actually carrying anything around. I love how the dog is just following me. The best thing about this has just been the doggo following me around. Nicole said I would be really good at redstone automation in Minecraft. I'm pretty sure that what I've heard of redstone automation is that's the first game that spawned this genre, because like Minecraft spawned this genre in a sense, like this kind of survival crafting game. You can see how this game takes a lot from what Minecraft kind of brought to the world. I don't know, what it would have been like, I'm thinking 15 years ago? Is Minecraft that old? I'm just spitballing because I can't remember exactly when it came out, but I think it was around then. And it got people into this thing, and it's like, oh, you don't just have to run around and shoot everything you see in games. There's other things we can do that are like really entertaining. Yeah. Okay. Waleed, can you make a machine that can do the marking for you? Make Tom in Satisfactory. I wonder if Tom's gonna drop by tonight. I'm hoping he's just having a rest. I hope he's just asleep instead. Nicole thinks 10 years. 2011 Ford is saying for Minecraft. Yeah, cool. Nick Sims is saying the machine slaves will eventually rise up. The factory will produce for the factory rather than far off owners. Yeah. Okay, so let me cross over now. So I will save this game. It's been auto-saving anyway. So I actually won't bother saving. It's been auto-saving, but I will load my update 4 game. So this is a reasonably new game, although play duration 24 hours. So I have played this for a bit, right? Having said that, a lot of these hours were me actually marking exams. So you know how I said I can sit there and wait while my factory does the work? I was just running it in the background while I was marking the exams for this term. I was like, oh, this is like, you know, what I can do is I can have my factory running in the background for an hour and I'll mark a whole bunch of questions and I'll get this reward at the end. Or I'll go and check everything my factory's made, make some tweaks, and then go back and mark some more. I don't like marking like continuously for like 6 hours at a time. It hurts my brain. But when I can jump back and forth and feel like the factory is making progress. So I could probably do more than this in 24 hours worth of game time, but I'll show you this anyway because it's like, it's really interesting because this is like a different factory that has had a whole lot more time in it. So basically I'm just like, here's how you do Satisfactory, and now here's one I prepared earlier. So here's one I prepared earlier. And you can see immediately, they're like, oh my god, the fires of industry. This is actually my secondary factory, which is my plastics factory. So let me explain what's happening here. Oh, it's not plastics, it's my fuel factory. So where is the actual... No, that's the output. Oh yeah, it's over there. So this thing here, I need a way to get there. At a point in this game, which I'm really close to, you get a jetpack. But here I'm just climbing on top of one of my refineries. So this thing is digging oil out of the ground. You can kind of see the oil slick there. Ford is like this. The sword looks sick. So this is the Zeno Basher. It's basically like a take the cattle prod from before and turn it into like a big swingy stick. Okay, so the oil comes out of the ground and it goes into these refineries. And so you can see this one pipeline goes all the way to the end here, and there's lots of... Oh no, wait, that one's hooking off that way. That's the water. There's water pipes coming out of those pumps, and there's fuel pipes coming here. And the fuel pipes are going into these refineries. The refineries are doing different things. So if we look at what's coming out of these refineries, there's actually like... I think that's waste polymer coming out of that one, but out of that is fuel, and the fuel is going into these things, which I've just kind of dumped haphazardly here. I tend to do this with my fuel generators because I know they're just going to grow this massive patch of them. These are my electricity generation at the moment, so I'm turning oil into fuel, and I'm making electricity through petrol, and there's all the beautiful, making this a pristine, lovely environment. There's my coal plants over there because my other refineries are actually making rubber and plastic. And you can see the plastic and the rubber are going here into these big containers. So I'm gonna hurt myself. Yep. I was like, don't jump off stuff. So I've got making a lot of rubber and a lot of plastic. The plastic is also going on like a massive long conveyor belt back to where my main factory is. This isn't in my main factory. This is off in the distance from my main factory. So I went on an expedition out here to build these refineries. The waste byproduct of making the plastic is this, I can't remember what it's called, crude oil or something, which is going into these refineries and getting turned into coke, which is like... Petroleum coke is like low quality coal, but it still works to go into these coal generators, which is generating heaps of electricity. So this whole area, while it's making plastic and rubber, is actually generating heaps of electricity, which all gets joined up via this pole and these cables to go back to my main base. Let's go to the main base, because you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. The transport system is pretty cool in this game. So this is the hypertube, and I run the hypertube all the way from my main base out to this mini... This is a mini factory, by the way. Like, I know I showed you something that had like 3-4 machines before, but this is actually my small factory which is just involved in plastic and rubber production and and power. So I'm getting heaps of power out of this. I'll show you, because the power numbers, where I was doing like 20-40 megawatts before, I'm at 1300 megawatts consumption. I'm producing 1650, so I'm actually producing way more than I'm using at the moment. But let me show you how I'm using that. So let's go through the hypertube, and the hypertube will take me back to my factory. So I don't know if you've ever seen these like old things that were in like supermarkets and stuff, where they put the money in the thing in the supermarket and it would go thump through the tube and it would go back to the back office. They have these, but for humans. So this is me going through my tube. I built all of this. And it goes along, this plastic is also getting shipped back to my main factory like this. And you get like all this kind of wonderful sort of architecture, well not architecture, landscape. And you can see where I've built these ramps. So that's what the concrete, hundreds and hundreds of concrete, is to build all these ramps so that you can actually get out here in the first place to be able to build this fast infrastructure. And even so, there's like a conveyor belt slowly shipping my plastic back to my main base. And I set up power for all this stuff as well. But totally beats running, because it takes ages to cover this distance otherwise. There's like the expedition that you make once or twice to lay out all this stuff, and then from then on you do the fast way instead. And this isn't even, this is like mid-tier of the game. Sort of what we would consider more end game is you actually have trains going around. Okay, so this is my factory, right? So this is like actually just the top floor of my factory that I've landed at. That gigantic thing there, you can see the cable going up into the sky, is a space elevator. And you know how I was putting stuff into my hub and slowly upgrading it? The space elevator is another level of that, where you're sending stuff up into space that allows you to get to higher research tiers to make stuff. So, what are we saying there? Kaichi, so much pollution. Yeah. Nick is like, is this the Middle East for your great empire, which you export for oil to power the fire industry? Basically, yeah. It's not quite to the east. Well, it's sort of southeast. It's actually like, if this was Europe and you go southeast, it's actually doing that. So yes, I'm exploiting another country and their natural resources. So you get all this is conveyor belt hell, right? I have these assemblers, which are like constructors, but they take two things instead of one. So this is taking rods and reinforced plates. The reinforced plates are having to be made elsewhere. And this assembler is making modular frames. Modular frames are then used in other things. So if we go over here, I think these both things are making modular frames, and they're going into this thing which is a conveyor belt merger. So their output goes together into a single conveyor, which dumps everything here in this big box that can store a whole lot. Oh, it's empty at the moment, so obviously I'm not making as many as I'm using. Having said that, it's not that bad because it's backed up. Actually, only one of the outputs is backed up. So that's conveyor belt hell going over there. So space elevator, and I've built these floors which are just totally not obeying the laws of physics in any way. Having said that, the space elevator may not need actually that much pressure on the ground. But anyway, all of this stuff is just being held up by magic. You can see my old coal plant there, my original coal plant. This was the first power generation I did. Water pumps to get water, coals coming down off the top of that hill, and you can see my tubes for traveling in between each of my installations. And so this area, kind of where we're in now, has a lot of storage for different things that have come out of this particular factory. And then there's conveyor belt hell, because in the middle of there is a manufacturer that takes 4 different types of things and turns them into one. Just jumping between these things and trying not to kill myself. The space elevator has a lot of complex construction here, so we've got like concrete encased iron beams here, the modular frames, motors that are being made out of bits and pieces of, there's some rotors that have come in from the other factory. And actually, let me get to a good vantage point, go up this ramp up to my space elevator, and I'll show you my ironworks, so you can kind of see it over there on the left. Let me get to a better vantage point. This is my ironworks. So You know, we had a miner going to a smelter, going to a constructor. That's actually happening in there. Let me, I'll go to the nearest tube and head down there. This is my steelworks over here. This is like, I get a little bit, yeah, well connected. I get a little bit artsy with my platforms and my ramps and stuff like that, where I'm like, yeah, I could make this all symmetrical, or I could put a whole bunch of diagonals in here and make things kind of funny and silly. So I've got steel here going into constructors to make steel pipes and steel beams and stuff like that. Up here is where my coal is coming out of a miner up there, because you need coal to power those coal-fired power plants as well as make steel. But let's go through and I'll show you my my ironworks. So this is how I began with the iron, like I did in the other one, but it has blown up into quite a big factory. So here is an iron miner, and in the back here there's another iron miner. So you can kind of see, in amongst all of this flooring that I've built, you can still see the iron patch. That was the original piece of iron that this came out of. This thing comes out here and goes through this thing that I think is called a manifold. So it comes in and it splits in both directions, and there's the main trunk of materials that keeps going up here, and they split. And on either side of these is smelters. So there's like 8 smelters through here, and they've all got their power supply coming through. The power supply gets quite messy. As I go up in tech, which I haven't yet, I can get power poles that can have 8 connections instead of 4, and then it gets a little bit less messy then. But yeah, so here's all the iron ore going into all the smelters. Then behind the smelters, you have the collection of the ingots. The collection of the ingots are going through all of these merging things. The conveyor belts merge together. You can see I'm not super efficient here because this is backed up. So whatever machines are using the iron up above there, something has paused, but that's fine. Like, I do like being a bit efficient, but like I can't do everything. But you can see it's sort of moving every now and then. It's moving up there, and this is now splitting the iron ingots to the next level of machines. So when I built this factory, I did it on a floor by floor thing. So the smelters are all here on the ground with the miners. And then no work with the ingots is done on this floor. The work with the ingots goes up one floor. Waleed's like, can you build hydroelectric dams? I think you can do geothermal power in this game, but I think that's the only renewable. Like, because the game's so based on these chains of factory things, if you have a renewable, then you'll just get power without having to dig anything up. And it breaks the game loop, as it does with normal humanity, right? Renewables don't need you to put in as much energy, as much human energy to make power. You just let the earth make the power for you. But when it's in a game like this, where it's like, oh, you gotta dig the stuff up and make it happen, it's actually kind of more fun when it's not renewable. Alright. That's weird. Oh, okay. No, the graphics weren't loading. I was wondering why that miner wasn't pumping out any ore. There's another one of the giant elephant ticks. I don't know what they're called. Like, a lot of the animals don't really have names. Yeah, so this floor is all ingots, and you can see the ingots going up in these lifts to the next floor. So let's go up floor. Check out the next floor. It's a bit smoky under here. And we've got the same kind of manifold thing happening here. Where are they coming up? They're coming. Oh, there was one of them off in that direction. So there's a whole bunch of iron ingots going in this direction into a bunch of constructors that I think this one is all iron rods. Yeah, so this entire, I don't know how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these are just making iron rods, and they're sending that up a floor. These ones here, oops, ooh, about to fall. Don't worry, the floors are just the right distance where you can fall here and not hurt yourself. I haven't made the jetpack yet. You can see in the top right corner that my next milestone is to make a jetpack, which actually makes moving around here much easier. So I've got some iron rods being made and some iron plates. being made here, and I have a very useful gap. The miner's a bit tall, so it intrudes into the next floor. So I've got iron plates, more iron rods. So this entire floor is just a series of iron rods and plates that are all feeding up into the next. Oh no, wait, we've got screws. So we've got rods being spread out into screws going up to the next floor. And if we go up to the next floor, we can see what's happening up there. This is actually the floor that I landed on. This manufacturer, this is one of the big machines, the biggest machines in Satisfactory, is taking steel pipes, reinforced, so concrete reinforced steel beams, the frameworks and the screws all going into this machine here. We might see it running if it gets enough stuff. It's pretty cool. They got little animations for everything. And this manufacturer is making heavy modular frames, which are being used then for something else. Might actually grab those, because I don't think this is feeding out anywhere. The space elevator takes the most complicated bits. So it takes things that get made up of lots and lots of other pieces like that, and it all kind of feeds in together like this. It's a bit dark. Just turn my torch on. So yeah, that's what my factory looks like at the moment. You can see how all these machines making screws are feeding into these two assemblers here, and so they've got screws and rods going in, which is making rotors. This one's also making rotors, so I often keep the same thing together, so you can see it just pretending. The animation's not specific to the thing you're making, it's just the machine, but it's kind of fun to watch them sometimes. So we've got rotors being made here. They're going into this conveyor and getting put into that crate over there. I'll turn the light back on. And then from there, the rotors are getting used in other things. So you can see there's a path coming out here where the rotors are getting put in this machine here. It's taking reinforced plates, which we saw from the previous one, and that's making smart plating, which is then going into a box. I think the smart plating is just getting stored at the moment. I can't remember what I'm using it for, but I know it leads to something else later. And so you can see how I've got like all of this production capability, and it's like, it's all leading towards different goals. So I've got one goal here that on your screen is over in the opposite corner, to be able to make jetpacks, and I want to do that one because jetpacks are heaps of fun. But also I have the space elevator up there, which, let me just go up to the space elevator. Oh, I actually didn't show you the copper factory as well. There's the copper factory over here, which has a miner at the bottom, and it has the same kind of setup with smelters. So at the top we have the cables, which we saw from last time, and below that we have wires. I'm going to need to turn the light on. We have wires, but we also have another set of machines making copper plating, copper sheets, which we use for other things as well. We're actually to the point here where we're making like circuit boards and computers and stuff like that as well. And underneath it is a miner and a bunch of smelters. So it's just one miner and 4 smelters. But that's making more than enough copper ingots. Yeah, we're actually chock full of copper ingots because the machines at the top are not necessarily using every single copper ingot. Or they are. I think they actually are, because I know I built this efficiently. They're using everything, but the storage is full because they've made so much stuff, and there isn't enough usage for the complex machines. So I think the next thing I need to do is start bumping up the consumption of these raw materials by building more of the complex machines in like my kind of central factory here. So you can see the central factory here has no ground floor because it doesn't mine anything out of the ground, and it doesn't even have the first floor of construction. What it has is above that, you can see a power pole sticking through. You can see a few power poles sticking through. This is something that uses the mid-tier materials and feeds them up into the space elevator. So I've been a little bit systematic about how I create everything. on this particular playthrough. First time I played through, it was just like, just crap everywhere. There was just like miners and smelters and constructors and just like chains of construction just on this big flat plane off into the distance. It was really hard to navigate because everything was really far apart, whereas now I can go up and down. It's a little bit easier. So yeah, here's my like complex manufacturing area, and this one I think is actually sending stuff up to the space elevator. So I was on my way up to the space elevator a second ago, so let's head up there. D-Wang's making fun of me. A lot of idling, apparently. Like you said, Mark is a man of efficiency. I mean, it is efficient if I'm using everything. So, if those machines aren't... Why are they not moving? Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, they're all moving. If there's something consuming all of this, which you can see it isn't, it's all backed up, which means I could put another machine at the end here that's doing whatever this consumption is, and I'd be fine. But below here, that production is like exactly never wasting anything except these containers are filling up. So once the containers fill up, the conveyor belts stop moving into the containers, and then all the machines just go, okay, we'll sit idle and wait until you need more. So I'm producing more copper than I need, but if I start consuming it all, I will produce at 100% efficiency. But I think that what I've done, you can kind of see how I'm in midway through the game here, where I've got all this production happening. I'm using all of the resources I'm digging out of the ground. But the complex production, I haven't got that much. Like this big machine, maybe seeing as a few of the paths into the machine are banked up, what I need to do is make this more efficient by seeing, just looking at the conveyor belts, I can see that we're producing enough of the reinforced concrete. I'm producing enough of the steel pipes, but I'm not producing enough of these modular frames. So then I can go back there and go, okay, let's throw in another assembler or two for these modular frames, because obviously there's heaps of modular frames here that are not being used somewhere else. They're only occasionally being used. But still, that thing was empty. Those machines are working at full capacity, so maybe I need to get more of them making stuff. And I'd have to have a look. If I start having more of them making stuff, do I then start using up too many resources from the floors below? And it turns into this kind of this game where you're half working on building these machines, getting some space for them and stuff, and the other half is like basically doing like all this spreadsheet maths. It's like, if I'm producing exactly 120 iron ore out of the ground, I will put 4 smelters on that, because each of them takes 30, so that's 120. And then I will put X number of constructors making certain things, so I'm using exactly the right amount. And then you keep going up and you go, oh, I have an excess of production somewhere. So what I should do is I should attach more machines to this to use up that production, to make something more useful for this end here to send stuff up the space elevator. But then as you're doing that, you run out of electricity and you go, oh, I need to then generate electricity. So you go over to places like your coal plant here and you go, can we get more electricity out of this coal plant? And you go, well, now we need to go to a different chain of supply here. And we go, look at the coal coming out of the coal miner. Are we using all the coal coming out of the coal miner? If we are, we can't get more power out of this. Do we need to make more water pumps down here to put water into the coal plants to make them work? And so you just kind of have this growth where you try to grow one part of it, and it says, okay, you're limited somewhere else. You go grow another part of it. And just slowly over time, you build it up. And meanwhile, you have other goals for little things that you can do, like, for example, in the top right corner here, I've got the idea that I can build jetpacks. And having jetpacks will be cool, because a lot of this kind of running up and down ramps and things is a bit easier when you can just jet over between different platforms. And so you can see my hub is down here, and I kept my hub actually away from my factories so that it wouldn't get kind of crowded, but I can still immediately get these hypertubes up to different levels of my factory and things. Ford, you finally flashed your keyboard. Was that like you needed to update it or something? And Kaichi said, where do all the final products go, I wonder? So, oh, I did say I was going to look at the space elevator, so let me go back up there. So, there's two places that things can go, into the hub or the space elevator. So the hub, as you can see, to make the jetpack, to basically do the research on jetpacks, I needed to feed it certain materials. So you can actually, escape's not the menu that's going to help me. You can see up here, I had to give it 50 motors, and motors are made out of rotors and stators. So anyone who's like electrical engineering background is probably going to know this already. There's the bits of the motor that moves and the bits of the motor that doesn't move. And so you've got to make these, and these are made out of other parts. Like you can see here, the stator is made out of steel tubes and copper wire. The rotor is made out of iron rods and screws, and so you need to have all of those. You need assembly lines for all of that stuff to feed into those to make the motors to go into this. The plastic and the rubber are made out of refining oil, which means that I needed to come from here where I was doing all of my iron and copper and stuff, and I look for crude oil, and I'll let this thing scan, and I'll show you the conundrum that I had at this point was like, how far do I have to go to get oil? Alright, there's the first bit. There, just over 1 kilometer. So I had to walk out there. I actually had to build that ramp, walk out there, and get there. But like you've seen the result of that, which is nice, is that I built a hypertube there, so I never have to do that walk again. Because it's the kind of game where you want to be building stuff, you don't necessarily want to be doing kilometer-long treks back and forth to manage your different factories. Ford says, Mark has the same vibes as a kid showing his dad something they made. I get excited about this. I really enjoy this game, because how satisfying is it to have this whole thing? And me just kind of hanging out here telling you about it, like, all this stuff is still producing this whole time. So when I finish talking to you about this, there's going to be a whole bunch of resources here that I can use to make other things. Google Assistant says, get the nuclear waste pumping out. I do have another factory, an older factory that I can show you that actually has a nuclear power plant. So it has this, but think of it another 24 hours on, and you get higher levels of research and stuff. So Space Elevator, as gigantic as it is requesting versatile frameworks, modular engines, and adaptive control units. So you look at each of these takes 4 parts. Some of those things take 4 parts to make as well. So I need a big manufacturing push to be able to do this. I'm going to need more floors on top of these buildings, because I don't think I've got enough space for more of these gigantic machines. I think I've only got one so far, or maybe that's another one there. I think that's another manufacturer. Yeah, but I'm going to need more of these to be able to fulfill the needs of the space elevator, which unlocks tiers 7 and 8. So you know how I was building up the hub at the beginning? That's like tier 0, which shows you the game, and then tiers 1 through to 8 are like going up through technology trees and stuff like that. And one of the final ones is nuclear energy. It's really, really funny as well. Actually, I'll show you. I'll go across to that other one in a second. Yeah, so one of these is actually, you can see that number just went up, because on the other side here, I have a conveyor belt and a lift putting stuff into the space elevator, and that's it. I was about to drop off, but like I think I would get hurt. But these are those versatile frameworks, and they're being made. I think I can drop there. There's a little bit of air control, so you can don't try this at home. This assembler's making versatile frameworks out of steel beams and those modular frames that I was talking about. And so over time, it's going to take hours and hours for this thing to fulfill the needs of the space elevator, but I don't mind if it takes hours, because I'm still not even at the technology necessary to make the other parts there. So the time sink's not going to be those versatile frameworks. It's going to be one of those weird engine types that I haven't even made yet, one of these. The modular engine. I do have the parts. Oh, that's the smart plating. That's why I was making smart plating at that other manufacturer. So you can see I'm halfway through. I was like, make these and then make 100 of these, which is much harder. It's going to take circuit boards, computers, and I can't remember what that thing is. So there's a fair bit of stuff that needs to go into these. and I haven't built up my factory enough to make that yet. But once I complete that, then I will be able to advance to the next tier, which allows me to get new things. There's a couple of things that I'm really interested in. Some of the new update, which are they have drones where you can fly materials between different places, and I think that might be a nice easy way to get my rubber and plastic moving between here and the other factory. Although I don't know if those drones are fast enough to do that. I may end up putting a train line in instead, because you can do that. So we've got transport. We can actually have tractors and trucks driving around, but if you looked at the terrain between me and my oil plant, there's no way that a truck is making that. Like, there's too much going over like bits of cliffs. There's too many narrow ramps and stuff like that, because you can actually drive the truck between one location and another and save the route that you drove, and then the truck will actually drive back and forth on that route delivering materials. But I don't think that on this terrain the automatic driving truck is going to survive that. Like, the automatic driving truck is totally fine driving between here and over there where there's a bit of flat ground, you know, but if I build like a narrow ramp up here and I ask the truck to drive between them, I don't think it'll make it. So I don't fully trust the trucks, but I think drones flying through the air will be able to make that. The only downside of the drones is I'm not sure that they can handle the capacity to actually deliver enough plastic and rubber to the main factory here for my needs. And Google Assistant is saying there that nah, ramps are the best, just do more conveyor belts. So I could totally do that. I could run another conveyor belt for the rubber from the oil plant back to the main factory here. I'm actually thinking of holding out until the next tier where I can get, you know, those splitters and mergers that I was using, these things? You can get smart splitters. So what I could do is I could just throw all the plastic and rubber and stuff on one conveyor belt, and the smart splitter will split plastic in one direction and the rubber in another. I can have two big containers at this end at the top of my factory, sorting the stuff that comes through the conveyor. So I think that's my vague plan for how I'm going to get stuff back from the oil factory later. But I'm going to have stuff further away, and I'm probably going to want train links for that stuff eventually. So, like, you know, this isn't even like endgame. This might look really full on, but I reckon these things are going to get a couple more floors on them with more complex manufacturing before this is over. Wendy said the chickens are checking in. Hello, Wendy. How's it going? You're all chickens, and thank you for being here. Oh, Cooper was like, did you do all this tonight? No, I did not. Oh man, you'd be like, wow, how is he? Is he some kind of speedrun genius? No. I think there might be people who could do... No, I actually don't think that you could get this much going in 2 hours. I just don't think that the machines will pump out enough stuff to get over the space elevator hurdles. Because the space elevator hurdles take ages. And then when you get over each space elevator hurdle, then the next tech unlocks. So I think in 2 hours, there's no way you'd get to oil. Yeah. Wendy, the game is called Satisfactory. Yeah, totally. That is exactly what other people were saying. 3D Factorio. Yeah, I think the games are very similar. There's a slight difference in focus between them, but yeah, Satisfactory is it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. Cooper said you started a world on Sunday and got like half this far in a day. I think that makes sense. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily have like, look at that. Actually, that is not even the hard bit. That's me just repeatedly building constructors. But you don't get that many until you've got a significant power infrastructure to handle them all, and also not. I think the biggest tech that I've got is the manufacturers, and you don't really get the manufacturers until you've already got like an oil plant going and stuff. Let me show you my old game. Marc's first? Is that it? 83 hours. This has got to be... This has got to be the one that has heaps of stuff in it. These are my friends who came and joined the game. The slug parade! This is my slug parade. So, the slug parade is entirely for my shits and giggles. I think if I was gonna play this game efficiently, these slugs get turned into things can overcharge machines and make them work better. So, the slug parade would be getting put to use. I think I've got a jetpack now, so I can fly up things. So let me show you. This is like my much worse designed factory. Wendy loves the slug parade. Everyone loves the slug parade. Okay, look at that. Look. Gaze upon my works and weep. Look at that. It is a god-awful mess down there. And I'm just like, just don't go down there and everything's fine. If you don't go down there, everything's fine, because everything is being produced. Like, it's like, this was really funny because I showed my friends, and like some of my friends are programmers and some of them are not programmers. So the talk around it was really funny because like one of my friends is like really organized. So his factory is like really nicely laid out. And I said the reason, and he was saying like, aren't you like a professional programmer? Isn't this breaking your mind to be this horrible? And I said, no, it's actually the opposite. Because like each of these machines is a function, and you call a function by sending some inputs and some outputs appear. And when we're programming, we never think about the physical distance between inputs and outputs. We just assume they can get there. Right? Because our code, we don't go, oh, this function has to be written in the code file closer to this other function or else we won't be able to see it. It's like, we don't say that. Usually the function just calls the other function. So that's what I was doing here. I was just like, okay, this thing needs to get over here. Where's that thing going? It's going all the way over there. And I was like, yeah, I'm just calling that function. So here's the output, and there's the input of the other function. That just happens. That'll just make the conveyor make it there. So this is why when they released an update, I did not go back to my old factory. I was like, never again. We're not doing this. We're not having this mess. I'm going to organize my factory. And so instead of just trying to do, like this is another big manufacturer. This is me trying to do everything in one factory floor. I was like, no. We're going to separate these things, and we're going to build things in different places, and then we're going to bring it all together eventually. Like we're not going to, we're not going to do that silliness. So you can see my hypertubes over to my other factory. That's actually part of a train station there. So let me take you to a tour. Actually, this one has a map, I think. Does it? What's the button for map? Z. So I actually have, these are my things. There's sulfur for nuclear power. There's my train, the Marc train, and it's going around between these different places. So you can see how, like, if you keep playing, this game just gives you more to do. Oh, Wendy's giving me shit. Cramming everything into the main function for assignments. Oh, you're right, Hamish, the keybinds were actually just visible in the bottom right corner. So let me show you my my transport solution for stuff being really far away, because this is one of the funnest things to do in Satisfactory. This is a hypercannon. So what people found out at a certain point in Satisfactory is those hypertubes here, you get in them and they accelerate you. So this is me just going from one end of my god-awful mess to the other end of my god-awful mess. But people realized that it doesn't set your speed when you enter the hypertube. It accelerates you from whatever speed you were going before to a new speed. So people realized that if you come out of the hypertube at high speed and go directly into another hypertube at high speed, this multiplies here, and then it multiplies here, and then it multiplies here. And if you put enough of them together, you can accelerate yourself a great deal. So a friend and I, when we first discovered this, and we're doing this, we decided to go into space. So my space elevator used to be over here. I've actually deleted the space elevator because I've finished everything the space elevator needs. And so we went straight up, and we tried to land on the space elevator, and we literally went into space. So we got to the point where the sky disappeared, the whole screen went black, and then we died. And my corpse came back down out of the sky and landed on the top ring of the space elevator, and we were so excited because I'd made it to the space elevator. But I was dead, and all my gear was like up in the sky, and we could never get it back. So it was like, okay, that chest is probably still up there somewhere. You won't be able to see it though. Like previously, my chest in the chasm, sometimes I leave stuff behind. Alright, so let's hop in the hypercannon, because if I remember correctly, this hypercannon takes me to my oil plant. Whee! Oh yeah, there it is. There's the train line. And there's my train station and oil plant there. There's another train station heading over to there and stuff. And I know I've got a bit of flight control here, so I'm going to try to aim for this area. I remember setting this up. I remember setting this up so that you could land in the water and not die. Alright, there I am, in the water. Having said that, if I'd wanted to, I could have just used my jetpack to make a safe landing pretty much anywhere. But, landing in the water is good, so I'm just using my jetpack to get out of the water. Here's all my fuel. So, all of these fuel power plants, power generators, are making a great deal of electricity for me. I think, what was my last one at, like 1300 or something? So this one's at power production of about 6,000. Although you can see it going up and down, because I think this is the nuclear power plant, which doesn't need to be running most of the time. I think a lot of my power is capable of turning itself off when it's not needed. I can't remember. Yeah, so I'm in a, as you can see, the power plants keep going off into the distance. So there's just fuel going in here, and all of these things just generating power. So I think you can kind of see how my design aesthetic has changed a lot since the last time I played Satisfactory. The last time I was like, just dump stuff where it is, because I didn't know what anything was yet, so I was just dumping stuff and then hoping it worked. And you can see I've started to kind of organize things. I'm not perfect, but I've started to organize things. Just running around on these pipes. Making fuel cans. Packaging them up with fuel. And these are the fuel that I use for stuff like my jetpack. And so up in here, you'll actually, I don't know if you'll recognize from the beginning that I showed you of my other factory, refineries making plastic and rubber. So the refineries here making plastic and rubber. The byproduct is being made into fuel that gets sent back down there to those fuel generators. And here we have the conveyor belt, the same one I was talking about, where I can send multiple different types of things. I think this is just a holding, yeah, it's not even being used. On that conveyor, I can send multiple different types of things on that conveyor back to my main factory. We could go there via hypertube, but why would we do that when we can travel in style? This is the train station. I actually don't know where the train is right now, but where are we? There's the train. I'm gonna wait for the train to come around, and we'll hop on the train, and we'll go on a loop through the other parts of my plant. So just wait here for the train. So the train stations are huge, and you see I've got 3 carriages on each train, and at different stations you pick up stuff from certain carriages and you put stuff in other carriages. And so there's a whole bunch of things like the let's see what's going on here. That petroleum coke goes onto the train, and I think other things come off the train here. We can tell by what's connected on the back of the train station. Oh no, I think the oil plant, the only thing we're doing is taking the petroleum coke somewhere else, because I know the petroleum coke gets used in, I think, aluminium manufacturing. can't remember for certain. Let's wait for the train. So it's going right. So you can see how there was my main plant there, and I actually have another iron plant there, and I've marked the steel plant and coal over here, and so that's my main thing there, and that's that massive jump that we made. So there's actually like a lot of distance between where I am and other things. But if I zoom out, this map's actually that big. I haven't even explored like that much of it yet. So just going back to chat for a moment. People enjoyed the hypercannon. Sulux is like, oh shit, Mark's streaming. Yes, I'm streaming. Oh, you missed a lot of the stream, sorry. Kaichi, dumping stuff and hope it works. Isn't that how people did their exams? Yes, I've just recently marked a great number of exams, and it's funny when you say before the exam that you're not going to be explicitly marking people for style, that like some people are only writing good style because they think there's marks in it. It gets very obvious who wants their code to be readable in the future, and who's just like, let's just get shit done. Suluk said this is a 3D Factorio. Yeah, totally. I love how everyone's saying that, because I'm pretty sure that's how this game was made. It was like, what about Factorio? But like what we do is that we're actually in amongst it. And actually this game is made by a team who, one of their very, very first games was a tower defense game in first person. So you could see on the ground around you the path that people are going to walk on. It's called Sanctum. You'd actually build the towers in first person in the same way that we build stuff in Factorio with like, that's a bad example, Space Shuttle is a bit big, but like you'd build these buildings like this, and then when the enemies were actually walking the path and your tower is attacking them, you'd be in there with a gun as well and fighting them. So cool concept, and they took that concept again here, but this is a much bigger game, obviously. And they did Factorio in 3D with you in first person doing it, which when you think about it seems a little weird. There's actually hypercannons between all of my places, but I'm gonna wait for the train because it's fun. The train will be coming down that line soon. Yeah, but like the idea that you can be in amongst your factory, and it seems really full on because the factory itself is so big, but building it up in first person is actually quite exciting over time. Shitaga, I ain't got time to comment, it's an exam, bro. Oh, Hamish, you only realize this is the Sanctum team. Yes. So if you love Sanctum, the thing that made me go and look it up when I noticed that it might be the Sanctum team was when you build something and it has like the 3D model of it and it snaps to the grid, and that's how we built stuff in Sanctum. I was like, this looks familiar. This UI, this really kind of actually really friendly, intuitive UI for building stuff is like, this is exactly what it's going to be. If you click the button, it'll end up exactly there, you know? And I thought that was a really nice design. Oh, here's the train. So it stops here, and let's hop on. I'm not actually in control of the train. I'm going to let it go on its timetable. You can actually go into the train stations and tell it where to go. And so you can see at the moment, it's picking up stuff. I'm pointing at the screen again. It's picking up stuff from that third carriage. It's also carrying something in the second carriage. And so I scheduled which stations are going to load, which stations are going to unload, and things like that. The other nice thing about the train tracks is they're powered, so the train can be powered, but that also means you don't need to run power lines. You just run the train tracks. So before, when I was building ramps, conveyor belts, and power lines, this train kind of deals with all of that. It's not quite as immediate as the conveyor belts, because the conveyor belts is like the stuff is constantly going, whereas the train you have to wait for it to come around before you get deliveries of things. So coming up here, Yeah, that's my old train line. I added another station up to the side. I think we'll probably get off at the next station, because I think the next station is my nuclear power plant. I want to show you that because that's different from the previous game. Oh, Sulix is asking me about Subnautica. So that is the second question I've had about Subnautica, which means I'm probably going to end up buying it, because if everyone thinks that if I love this, I'll love Subnautica, that means that, like, you can see I love this game, so I will probably end up getting Subnautica. Yes, there is my nuclear power plant there. I just built one. I didn't really need the power. You can see how I've named the stations. The station is called Unclear. Get it? Get it? Nuclear power. Alright, let's hop out here. So we've got what looks like water. You can tell by the color in those things what that is. So there's water, and is that? No, that's not uranium. Sulfur coming in here. I'm gonna need to put a hazmat suit on at some point, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna put a hazmat suit on so that I can go in there and have a quick look at the... So, the nuclear power plant is generating a massive amount of power. Oh yeah, so we've got a bit of radiation. Obviously, we've got a bit of radiation nuclear power plant. But what we've got is sulfur goes in, and we've got a couple of refineries here, and some water and some concrete and stuff, and it's taking these, oops, the conveyors are sending me off in different directions. Magnetic control rods, and I think this thing is the thing that's actually doing the fuel. Wait, is it not doing anything? I can't remember what this one needs. Encased uranium cells. Did I turn this off? I can't remember what I was in the middle of doing. It's definitely radioactive. Something's going in here. Between these, that definitely... Well, I mean, my Geiger counter's going off at the moment. Yeah, there's the uranium. So that's coming from deeper down here, and right down in the bottom of this cave, we'll take that hypertube down there, is where the uranium comes from. And it goes through all of this process to get turned into the fuel rods that go into the reactor itself. Oh, actually, that's one of the funniest things. That thing going up there is the nuclear waste. So the nuclear waste is something you just can't do anything about in this game. Although I think you can now. Recent update, you can do stuff with the nuclear waste. But previously you couldn't. So my solution to the nuclear waste is hilarious. I just, oh wait. I'm just gonna take a slight risk. Put the jetpack back on so that I can... Yep, climbing up the cone and standing on the exhaust of a nuclear reactor tends to be a bit radioactive. But anyway, so my nuclear waste is coming up here and just going up there. I can't even remember if I have an easy way to get up there other than like climbing up these rickety ladders. I appear to be being damaged. We'll just deal with that. This is such not a good way to travel. I love how I didn't even build the ladder all the way down. You can see how this was really not intended for travel. But anyway, okay, we get up here and there's the nuclear waste. The nuclear waste is heading up here. And this is my hilarious solution to the nuclear waste problem. Oh, that's more uranium. Yep, more radiation. Let me just put my hazmat suit back on. So the nuclear waste is coming up here, and my solution to the nuclear waste problem is to send it into the sky. One second. I'm just looking at chat. Yeah, people are saying Subnautica. Dongzu said this makes me miss the Sydney monorail. Oh, the monorail. That was kind of useless. Suluk's saying they just released a sequel to Subnautica, and people are saying Subnautica is really cool. All right, I will look into it. When I say I look into it, I say my backlog is already huge. Hamish is making fun of me. Disgusting belt clipper, because my belts sometimes clip through the terrain. Oh, right. Hamish is saying update 4 broke the entire nuclear process. That's why the nuclear power plant's not running at the moment. So I will need to rebuild this if I go back to this save game, which is unlikely. I've got a new game which is much more organized, which I'll be playing instead. And Evan's like, why can't you just shoot it off into space? I haven't actually set this up to shoot anything into space, but this is what I did. Was like, I know that the nuclear waste is radioactive and dangerous on like a particular rate. Oh, there's a slug down. Oh, I'll pick it up later. A particular radius. So I said, fine. How big is that, and how far away from the ground do I need to get for this thing not to affect anything? So all I'm doing is taking my nuclear waste like so, and I'm conveying up really, really high all the way up here and storing it. So this only works because I don't need... Oh, look at that conveyor belt clipping. Yeah. So obviously this box is stupendously radioactive because it has all the nuclear waste from my reactor going into it, but it's so far away from the ground that it's not radioactive down there. So I have safely disposed of nuclear waste. When this thing gets full and the conveyor belt starts banking up down there, then I will have problems. Ford said this was your solution to nuclear waste. Caleb says, yeah, well, I guess it's better than putting it in a hole. It is, like, basically better than putting it in a hole if you're going to, like, put stuff in a hole in the ground. But I don't think that this, like, send it up into the air is very practical for us in the real world, because, like, this container would have some gaps in it, and then, like, if you get high enough into the altitude, all you'll be doing is just spreading the radioactive particles through the jet stream, and then the whole globe will end up radioactive, because it'll just spread. When they look at, like, the wind dispersal patterns from radioactive disasters like Chernobyl and Fukushima and stuff like that, you see just, like, everywhere downwind was just mutated and, like, very, very damaged and stuff. So, yeah. I shouldn't get too close. Well, let's see how much is in there. Oh, there's very little in there because I think I haven't run... Like, after I built the nuclear power plant, I didn't play much more of the game because, like, that was kind of the end of the previous versions of the game. Put my jetpack back on so that I can just jet my way down here. Oh, I might go pick up that little slug. So it's pretty easy when you've got it. Oh, that's why I didn't pick up the slug. Oh, I've got heaps of healing. That's fine. Alright. So you've seen me fight with, like, the Xeno Zapper before. This is a concrete rebar gun. But I think this will be the funnest way. Oh my god, no wonder I never went in there. Okay, so each of those... I love how, like, as it loads in, it gets more and more dangerous. Each of those little things spawns a bee that kind of attacks you. Oh, it knows I'm here. It knows I'm here. Yep. Spitting your stuff at me. If I can get this thing to come out here and fight me, then I won't have to spawn the bees. Yes. Yes. Alright. Oh no, that didn't kill it, and all it did was like blow up the trees that were stopping it from getting... It's not animating properly, you see that? Okay, buddy. Oh no, come on. Yep, there you go. Get closer to it. Come on. Oh, where are you going? Oh yeah, there you go. Yes. It's still not dead though. Ah, fine. Chainsaw? No, chainsaw's not gonna help. Let's go bash it. Oh, this is not going well. Where's the... Oh, there it is. Just in time! I was about to die. Ah, phew! That was a bit rough. Where was that slug? Now I've completely lost my bearings. I think it was in there. What were we saying? Oh, the hypercannon. I think it would be cool if we could put the nuclear waste into the hypercannon, but unfortunately the hypercannon only takes people. Caleb's saying actual best practice nuclear waste management, giant concrete vaults. Yeah, so things where they can be like pretty much airtight. Yes, we are C4ing the native wildlife. Although, when it turned out that the just swinging the sword was going to be better. So we're going to get this slug though. We're going to get this slug. So I will just trigger the bees. Oops. The bees are always really good at outflanking you. Yeah, except when they hit the ground. The bees are not quite as dangerous, but they were going to really interfere in the fight with the big green spitter thing. It's always like, where's the third one? I actually don't know where it's... Oh, he's behind you! Anyone who's been in lectures with me will know that one. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Purple Slug, you're coming with me. You're gonna go on the slug parade. It's funny when you've got a game where you don't really care about making this one efficient anymore and stuff. You can just put stuff on the slug parade. Where? I'm just wondering where I am in relation to any of my transport. Because it appears that I built this system to not ever be, like, there's no train link here or anything. I guess if I just drop back down, it's always easier to get down than up. So you can see me using the jetpack to just sort of slow my descent. Oh, you know what we might do? Because I've got another hypercannon at the bottom of this, I know, because like, when I originally found the uranium, I found it from the other direction. So I just put my hazmat suit on before I went in. Because I know at the bottom of this, that's all uranium ore there. So I'm pretty sure at some point in this, I can't keep these two separated enough and you get irradiated. So down here at the bottom of this cave, we have a miner digging up uranium ore, and we will try not to get, you know, too involved there. Oh, because apparently I have no filters on my hazmat suit right now, so that's not helping at all. And so this is the way back out to where I first discovered the uranium, which was like really early in the game before I even needed it. And so you can see how like this game's got so much more in it than I've shown you so far. There's so much interesting stuff going on. Ah, yes. And that tube is going up. I have these little beacons here, and it says, equip jetpack or parachute. Because if you don't, and you stuff this up, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So, let's put a jetpack on, and hop in this hypercannon and see where it takes us. At least I can see what I'm going to try to land on. Oh, there's another hypercannon here. But let's have a look at this station. So I'm pretty sure this station is Quartz Station. I'm being very imaginative with my names here. So this station, like, it's really just to extract quartz. That's it. So quartz comes up out of the ground, and it gets sent on to other places. And I think I've got another hyper cannon here that, if I remember correctly, this one fires back at the main one. I know I've got an aluminium mine, but I don't think this hyper cannon goes there. I think this hyper cannon goes home. I think to go to the bauxite and aluminium processing area, you got to take the train that goes off in that direction. Whee! Oh yeah, that looks like my main factory there. And you can see the arch from where we were in the demo game, which means actually from that cannon, I could potentially have found my way to the whatchamacallit, the sky ray that we saw at the beginning, and we could fly on top of the sky ray. Actually, this is so tall. It's actually going to be... I don't know, I think the sky ray's up at that level. But anyway, there you go. What are people saying? Nicole's saying it'd be cool if you could make the bees or slugs into pets. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to do that. Only the doggo's the only thing that I know that you can feed in the game. Nicole's asking, can you ever run out of space to put stuff, or is it an infinite world? Oh, Tawaka's got to head off. Good to see you. See you soon. It's not infinite, but there's so much space. Like, when you consider that I spent like 80 hours in the game, and like my factory is still just this. My main factory is still just this space here. I could quite easily just do another 80 hours and only fill up this like plateau over here. So you don't, and this is even me not using space very well. If I wanted to, I could just put another floor at this height, and then like I would have another factory of that size. Because this is not a great factory, as you can see. I like to call this intuitive factory. Yeah, and you can see how I've kind of changed my design aesthetic since then. Yeah, so you can kind of see what's left of the platform that used to have the space elevator on it there. Actually, the train station's just below us. I can't remember the way down. Oh, there it is. And so the train comes down here and delivers stuff to and from the hub. So it's kind of fun, like, building up all of this, like, massive infrastructure and stuff like that. It's like, because you start off small, right? Like what I was doing at the beginning, you start off real small and you're like, oh, just doing little bits and pieces. But as you get more into it, it gets super interesting. How do I do the slug parade? I remember this. Okay. So we've got this. Oh, I can't believe I need iron rods. I won't bother doing it. But what you do is you have a container, you put a slug in it, and have a conveyor belt coming out of the container, then the slug goes onto the conveyor belt, and then you close the loop, and then the slug parade just keeps going on it. Yeah. BT came back with no audio. It's like, how the hell did he progress so fast? Yeah. One of Hamish is saying that you'll probably use up all the resources on the map before you run out of space. But even then, you, like, heaps of the resources are infinite. I guess, yeah, you'd end up tapping all the resource nodes, and so you'd just be like, alright, the production per second of all the resources, use up everything on the map. That would be a stupendous amount of game, I think, to use up all the resources on the map. You'd be talking thousands of hours to be able to do that. But it could totally be done. Yeah, that's what you were saying, Hamish. Yeah. So yeah, that's Satisfactory. And I find it a very satisfactory gaming experience. I love how, like, my friends' bodies are just sitting there drinking coffee. So I took them on a tour of the factory, so one of them was sitting on the slug parade when he logged out. And we got like research here where you can do stuff. So there's like, you know, there's lots of little things. It's like one of those games where you can play it a little bit and you go, oh, this is pretty cool, and then you can get kind of consumed by the game, and then you get way too deep in it. So yeah, just a bit of fun. I hope people have enjoyed Satisfactory. There's one more thing that I was gonna do before logging off, which I thought would be hilarious. I talked about this in the CCSOC Discord beforehand. So I've just bought Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and Mass Effect has been like a big deal to me over the years. I've really enjoyed the game, and I thought it would be really funny if we go into this and into the character creator, and I basically let you in chat direct the creation of my character and see if we can actually get one that looks a bit like me. I had a lot of trouble. I tried to make one that looked a bit like me, and it totally didn't come off at all. Because I'm not very good at judging these character creators and whether they work or not. So let's have some fun with this, because I guarantee this is what I'm going to be playing over the next week or so. I'm going to, like, obviously after last week's hellish amount of work, back off a little and have some time for myself, especially because there's no, like, I mean, there are some pressing concerns. There's still a supplementary exam and stuff like that to do, but, you know, I'm gonna take some time for myself to do some gaming. But we're gonna make Mark Shepard. I've actually got a Mark Shepard that I started, but I'm obviously going to delete that and replace it with whatever we make now. And so whatever you choose for me to look like, that's what I'm going to look like when I play the game. I think this game is similarly old to, like, we're talking about Minecraft. I think this is like, it could be like 15 years old, I think. I'm thinking like 2007 or something like that. There we go. Just making sure the stream is still... It looks like it's mostly dealing with it. Do I? Time to make Mark Shepard the most hideous man that has ever lived. This will be interesting. Okay, start new career.
Welcome to Alliance Military Database. Classified information requested.
I always love these kind of character creators in role-playing games, because some of them you just, like, you can make things that are just horrendously inhuman. It does look like the stream is frozen, isn't it? You're stuck on the loading screen, but I'm still going, so let me just check. Alright. So... that, I think, is working now that I'm alt-tabbed out. Let me go back into the game and see whether this is going to start playing correctly with OBS. Huh. Alright. Let me try another way. I'll go for game capture instead. Let me see whether that's working or not. Okay, turn off that. Turn on the game capture, go back into the game. See whether that's going to appear. doesn't appear to be. Just playing around with my OBS here to see if I can get this going. Very awkward. Did that work? No, it did not. Oh, it might actually be working though. I don't know. Like, I know it's actually capturing, which is good. But it doesn't appear to be... like, I can see it capturing, but it doesn't appear to be broadcasting it. Which is weird. Maybe I'll just remove that for the moment. Very odd. Donkey's saying time to use X264. I think I already am. Because I had problems with hardware encoding when I was streaming lectures. Let me make sure. Yeah, I am using X264. Okay, maybe I can change settings in the game. Oh, the game's frozen. Let's hop out of that. Alright, a little bit of live troubleshooting here. Froze when the NVIDIA overlay message came up, so it could be something to do with that, definitely. I Alt F4'd out of this. And apparently... That's weird, because you can see my cursor. Let me see if I can get this thing to run in windowed. Oh wow, that's the options? Each one's got its own different graphics engine, I'm going to assume. Let me fire this up. And I'll see if I can get into the game. Oh wait, people are saying that you could see the game? Maybe you could only see the menus though. We'll see. Alright. What are we seeing now? Because my stream totally doesn't look like it's... This is a decent sign. Alright, alright. My OBS looks like it's actually showing this now. Yes. Okay, alright. So we're in game, but we couldn't necessarily... Oh, wait. Let's go to the main menu. Okay. Better. This might be okay.
Welcome to Alliance Military Database.
Yep, there we go. We're good now.
Classified information requested.
I don't know what it was, but yes, you're right. Who was saying Dongju? I think you're right. Something happened with the NVIDIA overlay, and it just kind of gave up at that point. But now we're back and we're fine. I haven't had that problem before. Okay, enter new ID. Okay, it's gonna be custom male or custom female. I will let chat for the next 30 seconds decide whether I'm gonna play a male or female character on this playthrough. I guess if you want me to look like me, then we'd probably go from a male starting point, but I'm happy to do either. There's one vote for male. Flip a coin. There's several votes for male now. I think that also people want to see it be me. So where I'm saying male is probably easier to turn into me as well. Okay. The name I'm gonna assume is going to be Marc Shepherd. I think often most of us when we're playing these games put our own names in. Let me just. Oh, that was a bad idea. I shouldn't have alt-tabbed out of that. We'll see if this breaks everything again. I was just moving my face out of the way, so I think now it's out of the way of any of the options. Oh, I've totally broken it, haven't I? Okay. Alright. We've learned something. If Marc alt-tabs, it breaks. So, let's get back out. And we'll come back in. Alright. Alright. There we are. Oh, BT. Shepard's a name that reminds you of Modern Warfare 2. Was it Modern Warfare 2 that had that sniper level? Where you start off sniping and then you get attacked and you have to survive for like 10 minutes? That was like the hardest thing that I ever did in computer games. Okay, so we know now that I can't alt-tab, which means I cannot interact with OBS at all. I have to hope my face is in a good position. Alright, so where were we?
Welcome to Alliance Military Database. Classified information requested. Establishing secure connection. Secure connection confirmed.
Custom.
Please log in to access your profile.
I'm gonna call myself Marc. I love how they have all these like videos and stuff which are wait.
Warning. Data
That's not.
corruption detected.
That's frozen.
Please
It's
reconstruct
frozen.
profile. Confirm pre-service history.
This game does not like, man, streamers are gonna hate this game if it does this to everyone else. Okay, last time when I went, the path that got me to successfully was resuming my old game and then hopping out of that game into the main menu. So we'll try that again. Yeah, D-Wang's saying the same thing. Let's go for the path that got us there the last time. It goes to that little video, and when it jumps out of that video, it loses it. Because it appears to be frozen again. Oh, wait. That moved for a second. No, because I'm in game now, and I can see my OBS is still stuck on that one video screen. So Alt-tab out and back in. Yep, there we go. There we go. There we go. Alright. Okay. Alright, don't press anything.
Welcome to Alliance Military.
This is like... You know which game I'm not going to be streaming?
Information requested.
It's weird, I've streamed so much stuff. And it's just like...
Secure connection.
It's okay, but there's something about this
Secure connection confirmed.
that is not enjoying it. Okay.
Please log in to access your profile.
Alright, this is where we're up to. I was laughing at all these like little bits in between, these little video bits and stuff like that. They're to cover loading times on old hardware, even though those loading times don't exist in the current one.
Confirm pre-service history.
Okay, pre-service history. Spacer. Both of your parents were in the Alliance military. Your childhood was spent on ships and stations as they transferred from posting to posting, never staying in one location for more than a few years. Following your parents' footsteps, you enlisted at the age of 18. Colonist. You were born and raised on Mindwar, a small border colony in the Attican Traverse. When you were 16, slavers raided Mindwar, slaughtering your family and friends. You were saved by a passing Alliance patrol and enlisted with the military a few years later. Earthborn. You were an orphan raised on the streets of the great metropolises covering Earth. You escaped the life of petty crime and underworld gangs by enlisting with the Alliance military when you turned 18. So, which of these three am I? Am I a spacer, where I had a family and stuff, but like we jumped around between ships in space, or am I someone raised on a colony, but I lost my family when slavers raided? Or am I someone who is basically an orphan, living it tough in a life of crime? I'm thinking, like, if this is gonna be me, I'm thinking my childhood was pretty chill. Like, I definitely didn't have to escape a life of petty crime. I have a pretty privileged upbringing, you know, like, my parents still live just on the other side of Sydney, and like, we still get along well, they're alive, they provided well for me, that kind of thing. So, I have a feeling that rules out the orphan life of crime one. My family's also not slaughtered. It's nearly spacer by default, right? I think, because this is the one where, like, I've still got a family and I just followed in my parents' footsteps, which in a sense I did because my dad was in kind of like IT management kind of stuff, so I think that spacer makes
Confirm
the best
psychological
choice.
profile.
Shiitake says I'm flexing my childhood on you. Kevin said I'm a spoiled spacer. BT, did I enlist at the age of 18? Well, at the age of 18, I enlisted in UNSW. And I did several tours of duty at UNSW. Both as a student recruit and then as a professional soldier. Sitting at a desk at a computer. Okay, so I think we're I think we're finding out that I have not had a life that that puts me in a position to be a special forces soldier. The whole idea of it is preposterous. Okay, so options here: sole survivor. A mission that I was on went horribly wrong, and I was trapped in an extreme survival situation, had to overcome physical torment and psychological stresses that would have broken most people. That's a job description of a lecturer? Anyway. Okay, or a war hero. In my military career, I found myself facing overwhelming enemy force, risked my own life to save fellow soldiers, defeat the enemy despite impossible odds. Bravery and heroism have earned you medals and the recognition from the Alliance fleet. Or am I ruthless? Throughout my military career, I've held fast to one basic rule: get the job done. You've been called cold, calculating, and brutal. Your reputation for ruthless efficiency makes your fellow soldiers wary of you, but when failure is not an option, the military always goes to you first. I think those of you who know me as your teacher and their lecturer, I don't think that ruthless is me at all, right? I thought I was the lecturer who's like super supportive and is nice to people rather than like the ruthless and get the job done, cold, calculating, and brutal. Shizake is laughing. We know from Satisfactory how efficient I am. After looking at my my spaghetti factory, I don't think get the job done is me at all, right? Hamish says ruthless is uni lecturer. I love the students' view of your lecturers. Ooh, someone's asking a real question about UNSW. Adnan Powers asking who's teaching Comp 1511. Andrew Taylor is. Andrew Taylor actually designed a lot of what is 1511 before handing it over to me at the end of 2019, start of 2020. It was a good time to take over a subject, right? Oh no, it was even earlier than that. He handed it over to me mid-2019. And I've been kind of developing it since then. But a lot of the design philosophy in it is still his. So maybe one of these two. Have I overcome physical torments and psychological stresses, or have I risked my own life to save fellow soldiers and defeat the enemy despite impossible odds? I don't know. What do people think between these two, Soul Survivor or War Hero? We got to get to the visual stuff, right? We just need to make these decisions. Caleb, Marc is a war hero of UNSW, teaches the vast hordes of comp students. I'm kind of going with that because I don't think Soul Survivor makes sense because like everything I do in work is based on lots of other people around. So we're gonna go for war hero.
Confirm military specialization.
Yeah, I think everyone said war hero. Okay, so I have to pick my character class here. So like, if you pick this is going to be the way that I'm going to play. Oscar saying risk my own health to Mark 1511. I don't know if anyone was on CSC's like Discord last night where I was there. I was still chatting with people at like 4 a.m. because I was doing like all this last minute marking and checks and all this kind of stuff, and it was like I just got to get this done. But it's kind of nicer to be able to just occasionally chat with people. People saying engineer. I have a feeling that engineer is like, this is definitely the closest to the truth because I technically have an engineering degree, have worked for many years as an engineer. Definitely haven't as a soldier. I don't have the force, so I'm not an adept. But people saying not just that, it's the most nerdy, so engineer. I think this is good because I'm thinking of my previous playthroughs of Mass Effect. I don't think I've ever played through as an engineer. I played Infiltrator once because it's such an obvious choice because playing as a sniper is so much fun. I've played Soldier because being frontline was fun. I've played Sentinel. Sentinel's the one that I used to play a lot when I was playing Mass Effect multiplayer, which was really good. Unfortunately, they didn't redo the multiplayer for this, so I think I've played Vanguard as well. So I think Engineer and Adept are the only ones I haven't played in previous games. So Engineer's a good one.
Confirm facial identity.
Okay. Should I confirm that face looks just like me, right? Just the chiseled jaw and the scar across the face and like that haunted warlike expression. Okay, we're gonna change appearance because this is definitely not me. See you, Nicole. Thanks for coming along. Alright. Even this one looks more like me than the other one. They're all a little bit more grizzled than me, though. That's definitely something I could say. We can go through some presets and see which one is the closest to me. That's like like immediately. This second preset is definitely closer. Just I think, like sort of Asian. Sort of. Is he Asian? I can't tell because it's like, the genetic markers that make someone out to be from a specific ethnicity are not really necessarily in one of these things where it's just sort of like random stuff. We'll see what else there is. This one's got the hair closer to mine, but the giant scar down the face is probably not me. This doesn't quite look like me, neither does that. That's a little closer, but not quite. Definitely not. That's getting much closer. I think we could potentially start from this preset. I mean, like, I don't tend to have that little caterpillar mustache thing, but we can change that. Not so much. Maybe. We'd have to change the skin tone and check again. Not so much either. I don't think so. I think this guy looks a little bit too old. We would have to fiddle with him a lot to get it to me. No, maybe. Maybe? I don't know. Actually, this one's a lot closer. It's got my giant forehead. I don't know if we should start with this one. We're gonna have to change his eyes, I think. Nope. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, we're back to this one. So this was like the first one that was like a little bit Asian. But I actually think that the Abraham, what if you just grow a caterpillar mustache to match your character? That's the obvious solution. Yeah. Where was it? Oh, damn it. I just went past it. I think the bald one was a decent starting point. Maybe? Let's see how we go. It's not getting there. But BT, what if you went through years of plastic surgery to match one of them? I was gonna make my face bigger on the screen, but I know that if I alt tab out of this, then that's it. We're just gonna end the stream if I alt tab out of this and it doesn't work again. Okay, so facial structure. We've got different presets of face shape. So look at my face now. Look at the face there. And see what you think of these different facial structures. Do we want wider? That's a bit taller. It's a bit chunkier. It's not really me. It's like one of these, right? Like this one? Or this one? Am I narrower here or wider? I have a feeling my face is the wider one of these. Not the narrow one, but the wider one. And I don't have a chunky neck because I'm just not that physically adept. Maybe that one? What do you think? It's sort of... I mean, it's close. Skin tone. I'm a little paler, right? Wrong way. Is that the right skin tone? Yeah, it kind of depends on lighting. Like, I'm under kind of white light at the moment here, but I think I'm pretty pale. I have that kind of like, don't go outdoors because I spend too much time playing computer games kind of look. So I think that's fine. Complexion. Oh, this is like, there's only like 3 choices. It's like young, middle-aged, or old. It's just, I'm just looking at the amount of wrinkles. I think I have to be the young-looking one, because I definitely look younger than my age, and the one in the middle-aged one looks like, you know, a normal person in their 40s, not me in my 40s. So we'll go with that. All right. Neck thickness. My neck thickness is not very thick. I know that's like the thinnest possible. Do you reckon that's, just looking at my face in the camera, that's actually kind of correct? Oh, I was like, what if we predict what Marc looks like in 30 years? That would be kind of funny. Actually, we could potentially even start with the hair. Wait, where's the facial hair? Oh, beard. Let's turn that off, because I basically never have facial hair. Caleb's saying the same? I'm not sure which thing is the same. There's a mohawk, but like I don't really mohawk. I kind of do, but it's more of like a mullet hawk than a mohawk. They're never gonna have my exact haircut in a game this old because people didn't really have this haircut back then. There's a flat top that's like totally not me, but like it's close because it has the shaved sides. There's this thing. There's sort of like a mini mohawk bit on the top of this, and it's short on the sides. That kind of works, but kind of doesn't. I actually think it's the closest. Like I can't do cornrows. That just feels disrespectful. But you know, I mean, there's this one with just like you can actually turn it and stuff. Shaved sides. Oh, now that I've turned him, he's never gonna go back to center again. There's the male pattern baldness. There's like generic hair, but I just don't know if generic hair is really me. I think the half mohawk is like the closest. All right, let's just go with that, even though the brow is like kind of all wrong. So we'll go back to like so we took the neck thickness down. Face size. What do we think about this? This is like how big your jaw is, really. How big your neck sticks out. I think mine's pretty small, right? I don't think I'm a big jawline kind of guy. Somewhere around there? I don't know. Let's turn this guy a bit to the side so we can see. Alright. Oscar says Mark has a gigantic square jaw. I think you might be lying to me there, Oscar. Cheek width. Go back to the middle. No. Okay, there we go. Right. How wide do my cheeks stick out? I don't know. What do you reckon? Wide cheeks? Not really. It's actually somewhere in the middle, right? This is why I'm so bad at this. It's really hard for me to actually like get it right. Okay, cheekbones sticking out or sticking in? My cheekbones, I don't really have giant cheekbones or anything like that. This is gonna be like somewhere kind of vaguely average, isn't it? The profile is like totally different from me though, isn't it? We'll deal with that in a bit. It's like my upper lip sticks out more than his does. Abraham says out a bit for the cheekbones. Tweak that a little. It still looks like 10 years older than me. Cheek gaunt. What is cheek gaunt? Whether they stick in or not. I think my cheeks are a little bit puffy. So I don't think I should have cheek gaunt. This looks like it's just going in and out, so it's like a position thing. How about that? This is really quite funny, actually. He's actually getting closer, though. I wonder if I need to put, like, do I have dimples? Little dimples, I guess. I wonder if I need to put my giant lips in. Ear size. Let's, okay, wait. Ear size. How big are my ears compared to their ears? I feel like their ears are pretty small. Let's take that at least to the middle. I'm feeling my ears are even bigger, right? How are we looking? How are we looking? Yeah, maybe a bit bigger. And then we need to go, how much do my ears stick out compared to theirs? So we can go like full wing nut. I don't think I'm full wing nut, am I? What do you reckon about the ears? We getting it? You can make the ears wiggle? How do you make the ears wiggle? Just by playing with the slider? Where was I? Pretty narrow ears, don't I? They don't stick out that much. Let's go with that. I have a feeling this is not really gonna look that much like me when I'm done. The way the guy moves his eyes before the head. That's pretty good, actually, because that's actually what happens, right? Like, we look, and then we reorient the slower parts of ourselves to where we're looking. Whereas our eyes are much faster. Okay. Eyes. Because I think his eye shape is definitely wrong for mine. But let's cycle through the eye shape and see what we can get. Okay, question. Do my eyes go up or down at the sides? We'll get closer to the camera. You can have a look. What do you think? Have a good look at my eyes. I can't look at the camera and my camera output at the same time, so it's hard for me to tell. I think my eyes kind of go up a little. Let's just go to the start of these eyes. They go up a little bit, not like that. Unless that does look like me. What do you think? Maybe we should actually just like set this color correctly first. Where's the dark brown? That seems about right, unless there's a darker one. I feel like that's the right darkish color. My eyes go up a little, whereas I don't know if this is the right shape, but let's keep looking. There's that one. Looks a little surprised, but maybe I do too. Alright, where are we gonna go from? Hey buddy! Look at that. When you can see the white over the top of someone's eyes, that's pretty funny. Okay, maybe we go with this one. Because this is a little up on the outside, but it doesn't look like me yet. But we can change stuff like eye height and eye width and stuff. So my eyes go from kind of the top of my ears, which is about there. I don't know if top of the ears is a good place to measure it. It could be like the whole head as well, but I think it's like kind of in the right place. Eye width. Are my eyes... Oh, this is how far apart they are. Oh, this is actually going to make a big difference, I think, in someone's face. So that looks a bit narrow. I don't know. Are my eyes far apart? Tell you what. Do you think that these should be closer together or further apart? It's actually getting a little closer to me now. Eye depth. Get him to like pop out pop out of someone's head. I don't think popping out of someone's head is correct. I think that the profile is just still wrong, because my profile has got like my nose to jaw should be sticking out a little bit further than his. He's just got like, the nose is not exactly there, it's a bit too big, and the chin is too pointy. We'll deal with that in a bit. Sam. I don't know how accurate you'll get with this character. It's got nothing on the Mii's. The Nintendo character creator is a lot of fun. Because everything's just so abstract. Okay, eye depth might be okay there. Brow. My brows are pretty high. Oh, that was brow depth. Do I look like this? Okay, maybe it's like. Actually, the profile's starting to look. Oh wait, my brow sticks out a little, doesn't it? Just looking at it there. It's a bit like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Is there an eyebrows thing, or maybe that's under hair? Okay, jaw. Okay, so this is where we need to get my look. This is good because I can turn this way, and I'm actually looking at the other monitor, and I can see my profile versus it. I'm just gonna send the finished to someone and see if they can figure out who it is. Okay, so chin height. Keep looking that way, buddy. Yes, there you go. It's not that deep, right? Chin depth. It doesn't stick out. I think this is the problem, is my lips have got to be like the furthest forward thing. So maybe we need to look at this mouth here. We gotta figure out the mouth first. So the lips have got to be pretty big for me, right? Pretty chunky. I don't know about wide though. Mouth height. Somewhere in the middle by the looks of it. It's actually already starting to look a little bit more like me. So mouth depth. Oh, mouth shape. That was a good one to start off with. What does my lips look like? Like that? Wait, there was another one that was like, maybe like that. Caleb's saying the chin needs to be behind the bottom lip. Yeah, we'll definitely get there in a second, I think. Ooh, like this or like this? I think I have bigger lips, right? Yeah, the top is arched like that. That's probably it. Alright, let's go back to the jaw. Hamish said second one. Mouth shape. Second one? Oh, this one. I thought my mouth was a bit flatter than that. Like the line across the middle. Like I don't have that. The natural frown. Oh, second one out of other options that I was looking at, was it? It was this one, wasn't it? Or this one. Kevin's like, adjusting lips make it 10 times. Yeah. I think it's also because my lips are really big, so they're a defining feature of me. So if you can get them right, this is like caricature artists. If you can get that bit right, the rest of it will fall into place. Yeah, Hamish was saying the second of the two I was looking at. Those are gigantic lips. I don't think... Actually, kind of does work. I think it's between these two, right? Do you want the narrow one or the wide one? It feels like this one to me. Yeah? We still need to fix the nose. Because his nose is like down and my nose aims up a little. But we'll get that. Okay. I think this is close with the mouth though. Let's sort out the nose and then we'll go for the jawline after those. So my nose shape is wide and kind of upwards facing. None of them are upwards, and maybe that one? It's not wide enough though, right? There's a wide one. Oops. Went to mouth. Oh, nose shape. Mine doesn't curve down like that. It's like flat, right? That's actually closer. That's getting closer, this one. The wide one with the mostly kind of flat curve. Kevin's thinking that one. What about the height? That's actually about right? Maybe a bit lower? No, it's a bit higher. We're getting into Uncanny Valley now. I'm actually looking at this going, it's weird. Nose depth. Where my nose is it like? It's actually not that flat onto my face, is it? So it actually comes out a little bit. Not too much though. I feel like we're getting closer, aren't we? My brow is not sloping enough. Do we have control over that? Hair, brow. No, that's eyebrows. Let's come back to that. The tip is in line with the lips, as BT is saying. Yeah. So maybe the nose is coming out too far at the moment. Yeah, that's closer. That's closer. Little bit less depth for the nose. The jaw is still weirding me out a little. Pull the chin depth back a little. I don't know if I actually should go back though. Yeah, sort of. It's like totally not my profile though, because my profile is like starts back and kind of slopes forwards. It doesn't look like we can do that. You just gotta tip his whole head back. But then like, yeah, it's like my whole, like the whole top of my head is a little further back and the whole bottom of my head's a little further forward. And I don't know if this creator can do that. Because I could stick the chin out forwards, but I don't know if that's, because it doesn't do it, because my chin doesn't stick out forwards. It's like my nose and my lips should be forwards from my brow. Let's try to push the nose and the lips forward just a touch each. That's sort of doing it. I can't get him to go full side on anymore. That's actually sort of doing it better, right? Push the nose forwards and the lips forward. Alright. What do we got left? Eyebrows. The hair color's already right. It's just gonna be black. Oh. Ah. That looks real weird with no eyebrows. What are my eyebrows like? Kinda like that, right? Maybe they're a bit flatter. They're not that big. That's not arched enough. That's closer. BT's saying you think the cheeks come out a tiny bit more, but not sure. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, they should be a little puffier, but there's no cheekbones. Oh, you can't really see from the front, can you? Ooh, that's just a forwards back thing. I don't know if that's the right. The cheek gaunt. Was like it's nearly like a positioning thing, so that's way too sunken in. If you go all the way to the other end of the scale, it's also sunken in. So I don't know what cheek gaunt is really doing. Gotta find where, like, basically try to get the puffiest, because I've got like a roundish face, right? Actually, that's a little better. It's more round now, and it doesn't have a. Yeah, Caleb's saying, yeah, the change is too low on the face, but the cheekbones is just like forwards and back. Like, it's like literally just like forwards back. It doesn't grow them at all. So we just have to leave that as it is. Yeah. Kaichi is back. Yeah, well, we finished Satisfactory, but then I got everyone to help me make a Mass Effect character. And we're having a lot of trouble getting this to look like me. Cheek width. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, increasing the width is helping. Increasing the width and the bones. That actually does help. That was a good one, Caleb. So, increasing the width kind of puffs it out a little bit. And the gaunt is already as open as it can be, in a sense. It's getting closer to working. Side note, but RTX voice for noise cancellation. Yeah, I should probably do something because I'm getting the fans from my PC are feeding into the mic, which just actually shows how good my microphone is. Okay, I think we're actually close to done because there's not much else. I don't have any scars, so we'll take the scar away. How are we doing on eyebrows? Do you think those are okay for eyebrows? I kind of think they're okay. Trying to look at the screen. They maybe a little thicker. It's like this, but not nearly as thick. Like, that's like so much more hair than mine. Maybe that one. Oh, you can't change the height of the... Oh, wait, the height of the brows was somewhere else, wasn't it? Brow depth, brow height. A little higher. We need to get the right kind of arching brow kind of thing that I've got. What if we make him look surprised all the time? I just like, we just need this dude to be like my normal like kind of shit-eating grin, and then it'll be like, it'll actually look like me or not, because like, as if I ever go like, he's like a sad version of me, and I never look like that. Which eyebrows? I think the eyebrows exist. Like that? Or like that? 1 or 2? Yeah, it's those two. It's 1 with the arching, or 2's flatter. Caleb thinks 2. I'm leaning towards 2 as well. Mine don't arch that much, do they? They don't go all the way up on the outside edge. It's the flatter one. Right.
Profile reconstruction complete.
Oops. Did I just click finalize? I thought that was another option. I think that's it though. I think there's like... If I go back, is it gonna just delete what we've done?
Confirm facial identification.
Oh wait, we can still change it. Yeah. Okay, good. So we've still got the same thing. What do people think? Is there anything that's still working? Kaichi wants me to look tougher with some scars. I thought it was supposed to still look like me. Wow, that would be a story if I had a scar like that. Now, none of these kind of feel right. I mean, mainly because I have no scars. We could do that one little one through the eyebrow. Maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. BT is like, get the biggest scar you can. No, we're gonna go with like, this is already a grizzled version of me. Like, it's already grizzled just because of his just general demeanor. He's a Harry Potter scar. Just put a lightning bolt on his forehead. Charlie Puth. Suluk says we have obtained the chalky milk. Closest to a paper cut. Paper cuts rarely scar. I don't think, yeah. I actually have some random scars, but they're like on my hands and stuff where people actually get scars. Like, you only get scars on your face if you've really, really been through stuff. Like, most of us get scars on, like, our knees and our hands and stuff. Like, you know, the stuff that hits stuff. Those of us who have had chill, easy lives, you know. Sulux is asking if I've played Titanfall 2. I actually have Titanfall 2. I bought it on sale. Oh, it's free now, I heard. But I heard it's a really good campaign. Like, because it's made by what's left of Infinity Ward, which are basically some of the best, like, single-player first-person shooter creators in the world. So I heard that Titanfall 2 has a really, really good campaign. So I will definitely play it, because it's on my list of things to play. But, you know, I've got enough things on my list to play to last me the next 3 or 4 years, you know. Yeah, people are saying the campaign's really good. Yeah. Yeah, before they got EA'd. Man, everyone gets EA'd. Look, example, case in point, BioWare, Mass Effect 2 was thought of as, like, one of the best, what do I want to say? Large-scale story-based RPGs in the world. Mass Effect 2 was like, it's one of the pinnacles of the genre. And then around there, so they got acquired by EA, and it just sort of went steadily downhill from there. And now they're having to, like, remaster and remake the old ones, because it's better than trying to make new story, because they've already alienated all the staff that did the great stories from previously. Yeah, Caleb is talking about KOTOR. Knights of the Old Republic, for me, and no one say anything about the story, because the story is so deep, you have to experience it, and the best way to experience it is to know nothing about what's going to happen in KOTOR, and just play KOTOR. It's like, seriously, just play it, because I know the graphics are god-awful, and it's old, and the game system's old, and you are also committing to, like, you really want to put like 40-50 hours into this game, but if you do, you will be rewarded. It is probably one of the best RPG story games that has ever been made. Like, I will also definitely take an argument for many of the iterations of the Final Fantasy series being a good argument for something that could potentially be better than KOTOR. But I guess coming out of America rather than out of Japan, KOTOR is one that I think is totally worth playing and goes on my list of all-time favorites. Caleb said KOTOR might be getting a remake. If they just kind of leave everything as it is and just update the graphics, that'd be cool. If they upgrade the combat and stuff like that, that could be handy as well. It's really kind of old school, janky turn-based combat. But we'll see. Sulux is listing all of the companies that were destroyed by EA. I'm very sad for a lot of those, because a lot of them were really, really cool. I mean, Westwood Games, they invented RTS. Like, we have a lot to thank there. Like, we could nearly say that, like, Blizzard would not be Blizzard if Westwood hadn't been there to show them the path, you know? So we wouldn't have had StarCraft and Warcraft, which is, like, such a big deal. Yeah, F's in chat. I would as well, but if I click out of this window, it's going to die. Alright, what do people think? Should I finalize or not? People are just putting F's in chat now for all of the companies that EA has ended in really awkward ways. And I think the thing that hurts the most is that EA gets people to release bad games before they burn them. So we don't get to see BioWare as the creators of Mass Effect 2. We have to remember BioWare as the creators of Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem before we see the company disappear. And so we get to see them kind of lose their shine before they go. So it's just such a horrible thing to have happen. Aberon wants a side profile comparison. I think that's a good idea. there's my side profile. I feel like it's not really matching up still. Like the full-on side profile's kind of there, but there's something up with like the brow is not sloping enough. Can we do anything about that? Can we get his brow to stick it? Because like you look at like how far back, like just the angle from this tilt of the forehead, mine is tilted way more than his, but I don't see how we're gonna get that control, because this is cheek and neck. There's brow depth, but like that just makes it stick out a little. It doesn't get the angle at the top. We kind of have to leave that where it is. Oscar's heading off. Thank you for coming along, Oscar. See you soon. Somebody you know says, eyes slightly more wide set. Don't know, but something slightly off. Yeah, something is slightly off. It's weird. Okay, eye width. Wider? Starts to look less human. He gets beyond normal human proportions when they get wider, but my eyes are pretty far apart. It's nearly, you know what I feel like? His eyes need to be bigger. But I don't know how to do that. There's the height. Oh, that's wrong. No, bring them back down. We can shift them apart a bit more. Too wide. Maybe still too wide. There's something, right? Nose might be too wide, Halogen's thinking. The nose, unfortunately, has this kind of like, you can only choose shape, not width. So we can't morph it once it's there. Is that a better nose? I feel like my nose is pretty wide though, right? Somebody you know is like, yeah, you reckon the eyes need to be bigger. I feel like that's the one thing missing. Is if the eyes were a little bit larger. Because his eyes look small compared to his nose and mouth. And if I think that, because of what I see in the mirror every day, that's the thing that I'm thinking is wrong. I don't know what people think about this nose change. Narrowing the nose, I don't know if that has necessarily worked or not. There's this other nose. Wait, is this the nose I had before? Or a different one? There's that one, but I don't have that prominent kind of narrow spike on the nose. That's curved downwards a bit too much. It's nearly like that one. From the side, this one's quite good. But from the front, it's a little narrow compared to mine. I think this might be the compromise. Yeah, right? Some of you know is like the same thing. It's like more similar, but yet not quite. Like there's none of these noses are mine. There's something there's just a tiny bit missing and all. Like this one here has the kind of width, but like it doesn't have like, my nostrils flare a little, and like there's nothing there, like, because like I think that's also a big part of like what I look like, is like my nostrils are kind of up and out a bit, and I don't think any of these noses do that. What's that one? I mean, even that, it's a bit too down curved because I've got a straight nose. So from the profile, it's nearly one of these. Actually, I've come back to this one again, which is weird because from the front it looks nothing like my nose, but it seems to fit with the rest of the face. Too flat, right? That earlier one. This one's a little bit too chunky. Abraham's like, this is why we need Epic to release MetaHuman. The demos I've seen of MetaHuman are pretty amazing. Oh no! I should not have done that. I alt-tabbed out because some of you know was typing stuff Can't get back in. Alright. I'm gonna lock it in because I have to save it. So I'm gonna lock it in.
Profile reconstruction complete.
Yeah, no, it's not your bad. I think that you're expressing what we're all feeling. And I just by instinct went, oh, I should moderate that to say it's okay to say that. And then I clicked out. So I'll accept it.
Identification confirmed.
I think I need to accept everything, and oh wait, it popped up for a second there, so you did see it. So that's what we've got in the end.
Well, what about Shepard?
It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not me.
Both his parents were in the Navy.
Oh, it was back for a second, but now it's gone again. Now you're just kind of hearing the audio behind, but at least you see the picture. But you can totally see that it's not me. But it's something, I guess. Can you still hear me talking? Like, I know that the game is frozen, but can you still hear me talking?
I'll make the call.
Somebody's like, yeah, it's 90% there. That's a pass. I don't know if I'd say 90%. I'd say like it's a 60 or 70% there. It could be one of many people, and many of those people are not me. But you know. All right, so you can hear me, you can hear the game. So it's going through the big cinematic intro thing now. We'll see actually if once it pops out of the somebody you know was like not an HD but a credit maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking this is at best a credit. Actually no, it's switched into the game renderer now for this part of the cutscene, and it didn't start showing again. So I think it might not. I'm gonna have to let this play out before I can save it though, so I'm definitely gonna get to that point. But I think we can wrap up the stream there. It's been fun. Have we gone for like a stupendous amount of time longer than planned again? Yeah, I think I should just make these like at least 3 hour planned streams. Well, actually, I never said when the stream was going to end. I only said it starts at 8 and it was going to be like a 2 hour stream, but it's always going to be like a 3 hour stream anyway. I think we were still in Satisfactory after 2 hours finished. I look really weird in game. It looks different in game. Like there was a particular camera angle and it was just like, oh, is this what it's gonna be? I'm committed though. I'm committed. You've helped me with my character. This is going to be, it's gonna be the playthrough. Yeah, it's going through the whole like, ooh, doing a Mass Effect jump through the mass relay thing.
Thrusters, check. Navigation.
Oh, it's
Mission sync engaged.
what's his name?
All systems online.
Seth
Just
Green. Robot Chicken Man. I actually met him once, which is cool. He came to Australia for the graphic festival, like I don't know, 5-6 years ago or something like that. Got a photo with him, which is cool.
That's good. I just jumped this halfway across the
Actually, no, it's not looking that bad. Like, there's a couple of shots in game that sort of look okay. I think one of the things that you can definitely do with these kinds of character creators is make something where, depending on the camera angle, it looks entirely not like a physically correct human. It looks like something's wrong, something's weird and wrong. And I think we're okay with that.
They don't
Sort
send
of.
specters on shakedown runs.
So there's more going on here than the captain's letting on.
I've just got to get to a point where I can actually save and wrap up the
Just
screen.
clear the mass relay, Captain.
The stream.
Stealth systems engaged. Everything looks solid.
Ah, such a good game though. I remember this game. It was like, it's like space opera is just such a fun genre because you know it's going to be big and expansive. The entire existence of the human race is going to come into play. It's just like epic struggles, and so it's just like it's a lot of fun because you got all this like highbrow technology and aliens and stuff, and everything gets yeah, everything gets really cool. I'm just picking conversation options.
Is it me or does the captain always sound a little pissed off?
Only when he's talking to you, Doctor.
All right. still can't see anything. I'll just save that. Wait, I'll see if this... I'm going to the main menu. That totally didn't do anything. Let's try again. Nope, that totally didn't do anything either. Once it's confused OBS, it's over. Right, now we're back to this menu, it's okay. If it goes back to the launcher, once it gets out of the renderer. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's wrap it up there. Thank you very much for coming along, everyone. Lots of fun. I'm glad you enjoyed my several different Satisfactory factories that I'm working on. I'll see you again next week. I don't think I'll be doing anything work-related next week either, so we'll probably stream another game or something like that. There's also, I mean, other stuff I've been doing. Let me just show you. The other day, just for shits and giggles, I decided to. I bought a Gundam. It's not technically a Gundam, but it's like, you know, the Gundam series of kits. It's a Zaku, which is like the bad guy grunt that gets killed a lot in the Gundams. But I just love the design, and I started building it. So I'm gonna build that up sometime when I get time. It's always like, you know, because I do the miniature painting stuff, and it's like painting versus computer games and stuff. It's really hard to decide what to do with your hobby time. But I'm gonna build that up and paint it, so I might even do some of that on stream if you're interested. But anyway, thank you all for coming along. I'll see you next Monday. I'll let you know what's happening for next Monday. I'll put up a sort of a scheduled preview for the stream, and I'll see you all then. Goodbye.